It's so undoubtedly one of my Jesse James, the modern day outlaw game. If you're out here riding with me, come on back and make some noise. We're the last of the cowboys. Modern day outlaw gang. We're the last of the cowboys. We're the last of the cowboys. Saddle up, boys.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome. Just wanted to give you all a shout out. What's going on? This is going to be the last show, I believe, of the year. And then we'll start a new show at the beginning of the year. We got a bunch of new projects coming up. We got new things coming out. I even have some special guests in the back. What's up, Miss Day Koala P? What are you doing? Yes. Yes. We got some new things coming out. We got some great things going on. Yeah. I don't know what happened there, but hey, good evening, Dave. Good evening, Michael. I know you're out there running around playing hide and seek somewhere. Just wanted to give you all a heads up. We got some new stuff coming up. We got, I got some special guests in the back. They are sitting back there. Anybody else that wants to join or come in, I will put the invite in right now. I'm putting it in here right now. We're going to copy it. Got it copied. I am putting it in the chat so that way it can be put on there. There we go. Anybody that wants to join or wants to come in, it's really easy. It's in the chat. It's on all platforms. I want to give a nice little shout out to Everything Auto. Appreciate them. I was on their live the other night. They were actually doing their Christmas thing that they had going on, and it was actually pretty cool. Doing their little gifts and doing they have not exactly how they did it, but I know they got members that come in and they do certain things, and then they pick out of the members, they'll pick them up and actually pick the winner or whatever, and then they give them out. So they were in the middle of that when I popped in and told them that I said, thank you for letting me use some of their stuff on there, and they gave us a shout out, which I was really happy with, which I am greatly prud of these people and the work that they do and the work that we do. They are doing an awesome job over there in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg. But if you guys get a chance, go subscribe to Everything Auto, and it's Everything Autos. Don't forget the S on it, but you can find them. They're great people. They're doing a lot of different stuff. What do you mean you're being a bum? Look at this. What do you mean you're being a bum? We don't be bums around here. So that's what we got going on. So on that note, we got some things that are coming up from the FMCSA that I've had a few of you guys sent me on the autonomous stuff that's coming out, or that they were trying to push through and trying to get the FMCSA to pass it. And they said, we're not having that because, one, you haven't proven anything to us that you can do it without a driver or with a driver. And they were wanting to change the rules because they are autonomous companies. So on that note, we will deal with that here later on. But this is the main thing that we were doing tonight. And on that note, I like to bring in one of my special guests, and we'll bring him in. This is Mr. Greg of Jacob's Garage. We have some things that we've been working on and trying to bring out. I got some stuff that I'm gonna play a little video for y'all, and y'all can see what's going on. And on top of that, you'll actually get to see some of the stuff that's in the background. I had to take about an hour of it and turn it down to 2 minutes, which is kind of hard to do because there was so much good material in there. with the guys picking on each other, the owner having fun cutting up with the guys. But I just put it down to like a little 2-minute segment for everybody to see. And I'll let Mr. Greg Jacobs just give you what he's got to say about his company and what he's got going on, and maybe some of the things that we might have planned later on for the new year. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and play this little video and let you all see what I've been doing in the background that y'all haven't been seeing me for a while.
Okay, let's go.
You're like, wait a minute. When we get it back home, this right here, get that exhaust off first. We gotta fill these holes. There's nothing gonna go back there. And then we're gonna go up here somewhere and put some chicken lights in there, we're gonna blow it back and get going down the road. We want that glow off of it. Once you get it loaded, you gotta build this, put a metal on here. Get all this cleaned up, bring this rust off, rebuild all that, new boxes, and just work from here back. And all this will be new when we're done. New outriggers, new paint, whole 9 yards. Be ready for a slick rig and a nice inspection. I'm coming.
And everybody, welcome Mr. Greg Jacobs to the program.
Hey everybody, Greg here with Jacobs Garage and 24-hour wrecker service in Castlewood, Virginia. We have some heavy wreckers and rollbacks and a 24-hour mobile roadside. Work on your semis, fix your flats, come out on the side of the interstate. We just a few miles from 81, we work Highway 58 alternate, US 19 north and south. We will be opening up a new location soon in Hansonville, Virginia, right there behind the Valero store. Most of you drivers that run this way are familiar with that area. It's a great place, great location, easy in, easy out. Like I said, we're 24/7. Y'all can look us up on Google Maps. Check out Old Left Lane with Lefty. He's got a lot of our information, and we do a few truck builds here at the shop. As you see the little video, that's one of our heavies. That's our 25-ton that we're actually getting ready to put a small rotator boom on between the wrecker body and the sleeper, and redoing it, giving it a nice makeover, and be ready to roll here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures that you sent me. You got the fiberglass, you sanded down the fiberglass, and you were working on the doors. I ain't had time quick enough to put the pictures all up, but I'm really seeing the work that you're doing. So this is some of the stuff that we've got been. Go ahead.
We've got the bottom of a couple of the boxes rebuilt now, and I was actually working on a new welding cart whenever you hollered at me there a little bit ago to come on live with you.
Oh, so you're still at the shop?
Yeah, I'm still at shop.
See, guys, this guy don't ever sleep. They say he does, but I don't believe him.
Hey, our motto here is we doze but never close.
That's right. That's right. That's the way it should be with every towing company.
That's right. We got the 2 big heavies and 2 rollbacks that's in operation, and I just bought a nice little 12-ton. I don't know if I sent you a picture of it yet or not, but I got a nice little.
I was there when you bought that. Remember?
Yeah, you were.
When it rolled in, I couldn't believe what you paid for it and what it was and the shape that it was in. I was
One,
amazed for
we
what it was.
we did a call with it the other night. Pulled out a one of the heavy ambulances. He got off in a swamp over here in Dant, Virginia, and
Wow.
I took it over, and man, it snatched it right out, no problem.
Man, so I mean, it's working out good for you then. It's
Oh
something
yeah,
that you needed. It's something you needed because you had the heavies and then you got the rollbacks, and you needed something in between.
yeah. You got to have something to get on these skinny roads with. That 25-ton, it was versatile enough to go, but a lot of times too big to get in a spot you need just when you got to pull out a van or a FedEx, UPS. So we pull a lot of Amazon trucks out of the ditch. And, that 25 tons just a little bit much to be dragging out for that. But at the same time, we get a lot of these GPS lies to a lot of these guys that drive our semi trucks, and they get them in these back roads and get them in situations that they can't get out. And that's where the 25-ton and then the R model Mac with 40-ton unit on it, that's where they come in.
Yeah, and now, no, you guys don't know. He just recently, I'd say in the last 4 or 5 months, he got himself an R model Mac 40-ton. This thing is a tank. Any of you guys that are old school wrecker operators that know uh, that when you hear about this thing is a tank. I went with him. We went to go do a winch out, and luckily someone else got him out, which kind of sucked for us because we had to go through all these back roads and down some hollers, and yeah, it was a whole nother ball game. But I'll let Greg tell you all about this 40-ton he's got. What is it? An old Holmes is what it is, ain't it?
It's an old 850 Holmes. It's been changed over to hydraulic. The winches are actually hydraulic on it now. It's got a Zach lift under reach underneath the back, which is brand new. But I mean, you get it hooked, it's going to pull it. We lifted a tractor trailer load. He was loaded with those 2-ton square bales or 1-ton square bales, ever how big they are, the alfalfa. Got off on a back road over here, and we had to lift it and set it back up in the road. And I just backed the old Mac up to it and hooked both cables, and it picked it right up and slipped it sideways, no problem.
That's what makes it nice with having that. And you're an old fan of old trucks. You're like
Oh
what we
yeah, yeah,
call
I'm
the
old
old
school
soul of the
guy.
old truck.
It's then hey the Mac, man, we took it, and I'm sure I don't know if you got pictures or not, but I've got a little video or two we could put on sometime of us
Mhm.
recovering that D5N cat dozer that was over the bluff down here in Dungannon. We had to pull it about 250 feet back up over a bunch of limestone rock and then straight up about 20 feet over a road embankment to get it back up on the flat where the guy got it over the hill with the track off of it.
Yeah, I seen. Yeah, you sent me a couple of pictures, and I seen that. Was trying to get that uploaded too. It just everything takes a little slowness when you're doing video and pictures, getting them
Oh yeah.
uploaded and trying to get them all done. But no, I mean, when I seen this truck and you sat there and said, "I'm getting one," and then you sent me the pictures of it, and then I got the video of it rolling down the road, rolling a little bit of coal. I was like, you know what? There's a truck. One, it's a truck. Two, it's a heavy wrecker, and this thing's old school, still runs and operates like it's new. I mean, granted, it's got age on it, but I mean, shoot, if I had a choice, I'd take that old school over the new school pretty much any day because simple fact, it's been reliable for all this many years and still working and doing the same job as a heavy. Um, yeah, I just when I went to your shop, it made me feel like I was at home because your shop is laid back. It's family oriented. Everybody's laughing, cutting up, busy in the office, but it's a good little place. When you get out there, when you get to his shop, you pull in, you're like, "Am I at the right place?" And then you get out and you see the porch. And then you see the living room. 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 And then you see the living ro and it goes into the office, and he's got chairs and rocking chairs sitting up there. People just sit there and they conversate. Uh, it almost makes you feel like you're right at home. You're at a family, an event. And then when you get inside and you actually meet Greg and actually sit down and talk to him, I mean, you're like one of his old friends or a long lost family member from years ago. And then on top of that, the history that's on where he's at on his property is it'll just amaze you. We went around for God almost, I'd say, an hour of you explaining what was going on with you history on your property and
Yeah.
what you had. It was just like it shocked me, and it was amazing to know the history that you got on there.
Yeah, we live in a wonderful place here. It's I think right about a mile from Daniel Boone's home place where he had the fort here in Castlewood, Virginia. And
Right.
the old wagon road is still here. It still goes through our place. It was never taken out. There's a section of it probably a quarter of a mile long that runs through part of our property here. And nobody ever disturbed it. And there's so many artifacts and things that's been found in this area. You know, the metafield below our house, the creek that runs through, it was used by the horse soldiers during the Civil War. There's just so much history here that can be, and you can look all this up online, guys. It's amazing what is here in Castlewood, Virginia. And it was actually the original name of the area was called Castle's Woods, and it was a hideout for the outlaws back in the Jesse James days, back in that time of the era. That's where all your wild guys would go. That's the story that I've always heard here. It was a place for everybody to go hide out when they got in trouble.
Yeah, I mean the history that's on there, and with you showing me the wagon trail, I was a shock. And then with the history that's on that property, and then you showing me that where everything used to be, where your grandfather's house used to be, and then they had like the old blacksmith and stuff that was there, which is not there now, uh, due to other circumstances. But it was just amazing to be able to picture the history and everything that was on that land and what you have gotten to it. I don't know if people would say it, but I would say it. You're just a young buck with an old soul that has not gone anywhere and it's not going to die anytime soon. Because even just in the trucks you got that you have in your backyard or behind the building, I mean, there's so much history. Just like the truck that was gifted to you in the will that you
Oh
used
yeah, my
to,
66.
yeah, that you used to run with the
I
guy
actually,
that owned it,
I
and
actually
then
rode that truck. The last trip it made out was in 1985, the spring of '85. Uh, my dad, George Jacobs Sr., and really close friend of his, and I grew up with him, was old Donnie Statzer. He had the old 66 Freightliner with the 318 Detroit in it, 10
Mhm.
speed. That was just my favorite ride, back in the day. And
Yeah,
we made the last trip it made was in the spring of '85, and he parked it. And I would tease him about it over the years, wanting to buy it or trying to trade him out of it. And he'd laugh at me and say, "Oh, we better let her sit here for a while. We better just leave old Rosie sitting where she's at." And then, he passed away. And a while after he passed away, they read his will, and his daughter calls me up. And she tells me that I need to come get my truck. And I'm like, "What truck?" I'd totally forgot, about the old truck. It had been so many years
mhm.
past. And she said, "Oh, Rosie," said, "Dad left her to you in his will." And I went over, I cut locust trees for 2 or 3 evenings to get to her. And we got her drug out and out to the road. I videoed a lot of it, got a lot of pictures, documented most of it so I can have, photographs when I get it here in the shop and get it all patinaed up and ready to go to the shows. But there's a really good story behind that truck. Growing up, I grew up with it. We would lots of trips and just had so much fun back in the day. That was when trucking was really fun. You know,
Yeah.
the last trip it made, and I'll tell this if you don't mind,
No,
and
go
the guys
ahead.
that are watching, they'll get a kick out of this too, because Dad and Donnie, well, they were old outlaw truckers, you know, from back in the day. Dad started
You
the
mean
first
true
truck.
outlaw truckers?
Yeah, true outlaw truck drivers. Dad started back in the 50s in an old Cannonball GMC, and I'm
Mhm.
sure Donnie did too, you know, but you know, as time went on up through the years, they got these old cab overs and they really thought they were trucking. Had big motors, that 318 Detroit, and Dad's had a Cummins in it. We'd load in McMinnville, Tennessee, shrubbery, going to the East Coast.
Mhm.
Everybody make fun of Donnie in the old Detroit. And we topped Jellicoe Mountain down there one morning, right about daylight, coming out of there loaded. And everybody was picked on Donnie all the way down there about his old slow truck. Top of the mountain, got that good long straight stretch. He kicked old Rosie out of gear and turned the lights off. He had his lights on separate switches, so he turned everything off but the headlights. And he turned every light on that truck off but the headlights. And whenever he went by everybody, he was laughing and making fun of them, saying, "Now about Rosie, guys. Tell me about old Rosie, boys." You know, he just had the best time ever was out of it. But the last trip we made, Donnie, he wouldn't run during the daytime. We went down one night, loaded, ready to leave out there by lunchtime the next day. And
Yeah.
Dad said, "Let's go, Donnie." He said, "We get up there and get unloaded in the morning." He said, George said, "We better lay around here till dark." Said, "We'll go up the road tonight." About dark, we headed out. Next morning, we was up in D.C., got unloaded, like, you know, normal lunchtime, 1 o'clock in the day. We was empty, ready to come back. Dad
Mhm.
said, "Donnie, come on, let's go back down the road." Said, "We get home, we might go get us another one this week." He said, George said, "Let's lay around till it gets dark." Said, "It'll be cooler anyway, so we go down the road tonight." Well, we did. We got back home. 2 or 3 days later, Donnie comes on the mountain. Daddy said, "Donnie said, why wouldn't you run during the daytime?" Said, you wanted to run at night all the time." He said, George said, "Had to make my last farm payment." Said, "Old Rosie didn't have no tags and insurance on her." So he bootlegged that load. So,
Wow.
you know, and
That's
that
what
was in the
you
spring
call
of
a real truck.
1985.
Wow. Well, yeah, I mean, it tells you there's a lot of history and what old school was about. It was,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
you did what you had to do to make your payments. And like he was
Right.
paying off the farm, you know,
Yeah.
this
Gosh, it's
day and
the
age,
stuff we did.
it's
I've hauled
right.
cows. I've hauled cows to Pennsylvania on farm use tags, so we get money to go tag a truck with.
I heard that. I heard that. How long you been driving a truck?
I started driving legally in 1988.
Hmm.
But Daddy started teaching me to drive a truck in 1984. I would back the cab over. He had a 73 Peterbilt cab over with a 290 formula and a 15 speed in it. And I would back it around behind the barn and clean the cow trailer out just so I'd get to drive that truck. And he'd say, "Son, you learn to back it up and I'll let you go forward." And then when I was 14, I was 13 or 14 years old. The spring, summer, you know, back in cattle was seasonal. You haul cattle in the fall, you haul
Mhm.
shrubbery in the spring. Summertime, you haul produce out of Florida and Georgia. And you had them old 42 foot box trailers.
Yep.
And the summer of that year, spring of that year, up, I don't know, early summer, we took a load of watermelons over on the East Coast, over in D.C. and up that area. And 66 was brand new. They just had built it coming up out there back to 81.
Wow.
It was me and my older brother and my dad in that old Pete. And Dad said, "Boys, this road's new." He said, "I'm going to lay down and take me a nap." Said, "Y'all wake me up when you get to 81. We was coming up through there, and Big Brother Bobby said, "Son," said, "I'm tired." Said, "You want to drive?" I said, "Sure, I'll drive." You know, I was just a kid, but I didn't care.
Yeah.
He got me behind the wheel, and I woke Big Brother up. He was asleep on the passenger seat. I woke him up when we got to 81. I said, "Which way do I go here, Bobby, north or south?" And he said, "You got to hit the ramp. Let me have it now, son. We're on the big road." But that's the first actual trip driving I did. I see 84, 85. I was about 12 years old, I guess, Lefty.
Wow. What's
But
up,
I've been a
Honey
trucker
Williams?
ever since.
Hold on, I'm gonna get into some of these comments real quick. Terry says, "Good evening. Headed to Lexington, Kentucky, first weekend in January. Semi pulling on Saturday night. Hashtag Bull Snot Diesel Life, Air Dog, and Pure Flow Technologies." Yep, we're gonna give a shout out to them. We got Bull Snot as a sponsor. And on that note, we will go ahead and I'm gonna throw in a little break real quick. And we'll get one of our sponsors up here real quick and get this taken care of. Shout out to Bull.
We use Bull Snot products on our vehicles. We
use Bull Snot!
I didn't find your key.
Oh, redneck trucker in there sitting there sneaking in on people. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we got another one here. Y'all say hey to Andy. That's one of my boys right there. He's our trucker. He's getting ready to head out of here tonight. Where are you going tonight, Andy?
Chicago.
He's got to go to Chicago here in a little bit. Take a load of that mail up there.
Oh, so you're not going to Wisconsin this weekend?
I'm reloading Wisconsin.
He's going to reload in Wisconsin. Come back this way.
I got you. By the way, guys, this is Andy. He also he runs for he's subcontracted to ETI, which most of y'all know who that is. Tell us a little bit about you, Andy.
Oh, ain't much to say. Just trucker.
Just a trucker.
That's the trucker.
Hey, I'll tell you,
trying to make it.
I'll tell you a good one on him, Lefty. When he was about 6 years old, he had me put on the list to pick him up from school. And he'd get sick about 3 out of 5 days and just be dying of a stomach ache. I'd go pick him up. Back then, I drove a dump truck. We was hauling gravel. I'd go pick him up from school, and we wouldn't clear the gate from the elementary school. And he'd cough real big, and he'd say, "Where we going today now, Greg?" So, he pulled a pretty good one on him and get to go drive and ride the truck. So now he's a trucker, got his own Kenworth and everything.
Yeah, that sounds about like the stuff that I used to pull back when I was younger. Back when I started, my aunt worked for a rock quarry company, which was called CDS, and they were out of Florida. And I used to do that on Fridays because I knew, because the owner told me if I ever got off on Friday, I'd get to go ride with him or I could ride with the trucks. Well, at the time, he had close to 90 dump trucks and about 10 low boys and running equipment. So I would sneak off and, play hooky from school. And 6:30 in the morning, I'd be sitting inside of a dump truck, sitting in a Ford L9000, and we'd be running through. And I'd say 7 or 8 at that time. And the boys had me sitting there shifting the gears, and hell, they liked it. That's how I learned going through the gears with my left hand, not knowing that, 20 years or so later, I'll be using my left hand to do that anyways.
Great.
And but I grew up in trucking. I'm a third generation driver. I drove for 25 years. Due to circumstances, which everybody knows, the cancer got to me and it kind of pulled me out of the truck. So that's the reason why I'm not driving now. I've been out of a truck now almost 3 years, which sucks because every time I see one, I want to dying to get back into one and drive one. But ain't able to do it, not at the moment. But yeah, I mean, it's a good thing.
Andy's got to head out on us. He's got to go to work. Y'all say have a good one, he said.
See
all
you,
right,
man.
Andy. Hey, be safe, man. Hopefully I'll see you next weekend. You going out and coming back, or you?
Yeah, I'm just gonna do one and come back. Yeah, I'll be back.
All right. Hopefully I'll see you this weekend. I'm gonna try to get up there this weekend. And,
That'll work. We'll have something for you.
Hey, I promise I'll let you play on the excavator this time.
That'll work. I love you, buddy.
Love you too, Andy. Be safe, buddy.
Later, Andy. So you guys didn't know. I tried to upload the video over at their new location. Me and Andy were over there putting in a 20-foot culvert pipe, and we picked on who was going to get what machine. I told him I'd take the excavator, and he was like, "Oh, okay." And he got on the skid steer and started working it, and I started digging the ditch and running it out so we could lay the pipe in there. And the first thing he did, he ran up to his dad and goes, "Can you believe he could run an excavator as good as a as a 2-arm man?" It made me feel good. And his dad, his dad sat there and goes, "Yeah, don't underestimate anybody on this, on something like that," which is true. But I mean, I've done it for years. But I thought it was a very nice compliment. But it's nice to know that you still make an impression on somebody, even though they don't really pay attention to a lot. I mean, you don't think they're paying attention to a lot of what you do, which, and I know you have too, Greg, because we met, we've seen each other once over at the Big Rig Showdown, but we
Yep.
never got to pay attention until we went to the monster truck show, and I went over there to over there in Castlewood where you were at, to the
Yeah.
racetrack, and then we did the little interview and did the little ad that I have in here, and then we hit it off from there. I mean, you hit it off with me, as in, "Hey, you know what? Come on up. We'll do a barbecue. Come on up. You're fam." I mean, it was right off, and that just tells me
Yeah.
how good a natured person you are. Everybody's family until you do something wrong. But it was like I said, it brought me back to the old times when I had family that did auto body work up in West Virginia. So I mean, I used to spend time there when I was a young kid, between 4 and 5, at my uncle's body shop, and being able to sit in the office and I could smell the Bondo and the fiberglass and everything else that was going on. It just brought me back to normalization of my past, and it just overwhelmed me. And I think that's why we hit it off so well, is because you treat everybody as a family member, and that's what I really like about your situation and the way you guys are and the way y'all operate, because you all do the same thing in the towing business on your side too.
We tell everybody we'll treat you so many ways you got to like one of them, man.
I heard that. Hold on, we got a YouTuber in here.
You were talking about the porch there a while ago. You left out the big the outdoor kitchen that we've built. So we love to eat up here, dude. We all time. I just bought us a new smoker system that we're going to bring in here in a couple of weeks and get it set up. And we have 2 or 3 big cookouts every year. We have during the middle of June, we have what you call Kids Day. All you guys bring your family, bring your kids. We saddle the horses. We'll put a horse in the wagon. We'll set the tractor up and hook up for hay rides. We'll have some equipment sitting around here so the kids can get hands on. We'll let them set up in the wrecker. We'll start one of the wreckers and let them work the controls and just let those kids have some hands on, because some of those children, you never know whether they'll ever get to see that again or get to do that again, or how many kids I hear's never got to look at a horse or pet it. We do that. We do that for the whole community, and I mean anybody that wants to come on. You're welcome here.
Yeah, and it's like the other thing is, you're also teaching the younger generation to learn to pick up a skill, not
Yeah.
just it is a skill, because it takes a lot of math. Believe it or not, most people don't realize there's a lot of math that goes into running a wrecker or a tow truck, because you got to know your mathematical equations on using your winch power, what the winch cable is capable of, if you're using pulleys, your combinations of all that to be able to get like if you put a pulley hook in there, you're doubling the winch power, you're doubling the strength of it, and then if you put another one, you're tripling it, and it all depends on how they think of it, and then they don't really. A lot of people don't realize there's a lot of math that goes into it, especially when you're rolling one over, because you want to make sure you get it in the right angles, the right directions. It's all down to, I mean, it does take skill, but it's more I want to say more hands-on than it is learning it from a book, because when you run a wrecker, you have to learn and see it yourself in order to understand it and do it. It's
Yeah, it
10
is a
things.
hands-on. It is a hands-on, and there's some places. There, the Wrecker Association that we're in. There's 2 or 3 times a year that they give a class on heavies, medium duty, light duty, that you can go. I mean, there's several places over the state that you can get to go take this class if you ever want to be a tow truck operator. It's a wonderful thing. A lot of people don't like it because they came out with the Board of Towing and Recovery, but that's one of the greatest things that was ever invented. We have to pass a background check now. You have to have a driver authorization document to be able to drive that tow truck, whether
Yep.
you're driving for a company or you just want to buy you a tow truck to go tow your farm tractors and stuff with. That's still required by the state that you have that driver authorization document. I don't
Yep.
know how
Stating
they
that
feel
you're,
about it.
yeah,
If you're not for hire or whatever, they still want you to have that card to show that you're qualified to be able to operate that machine.
yep. And that card, the last time I got my last one for Virginia, it cost me right around $144 is what it was. It was good for 2 years, but that's what it cost me. I had to do my fingerprints, did a background check, took them about 2 weeks, and it's done through the
The
Commonwealth of
Department of
Virginia
Justice.
is who it's through. Yeah, and they do the full FBI everything background and make sure you're legit, that you're not a thief and you're just buying a truck to go steal people's cars, which I actually really did like. I just, it's a little expensive, but I mean, it's good for 2 years. You can make that money up in about 6 months. But I mean, as a driver, just want to get on here and say this comment real quick. Matt Fields, he's a YouTuber. He says, I build 1/32 scale semi wrecker trucks, but last night, my International 99, it's a wrecker truck. The frame broke, so I had to fix it today. And that was his comment. But I guess he does the scaled model toys, guys. If you guys want to look him up, it's Matthew Fields on YouTube. Look him up, and you can see some of the work that he does on building these little 1/3 scale trucks. They've got other guys that do other scales. They do semis and that. I've seen a few of them running around that have been doing some of the work too. But yeah, it's just little things like that. But my biggest thing was I got into construction. My dad did construction. He did underground pipe work. He did water and sewer mains, hooking up new buildings, doing wet taps, stuff like that. So at the age of 3, I was on the back of a backhoe with him while he was sitting there operating an old John Deere 310 non-turbo way back when, uh, back in the
That
days.
was a 555 Ford.
Yeah. And back then, I used to sit out there and sit on the machine for hours and hours when he was clearing property, digging up water lines. And, he did that for the neighbors, which was our all family through the neighborhood. It was his brother's nephew and then his mom's place. They put in a new septic back in the old days when they had the old giant green fiberglass tanks that looked like the size of your house. And I remember him putting those in. And we had a blast, and it was just I had a really good childhood. I grew up learning that stuff from him. Then not only doing that, then driving trucks. I have family members that own trucking companies. I got one in Arkansas that owns a trucking company. I have another one or two more down in Florida that own trucking companies. Um, my uncle did land clearing, trucking. He also leased out he had the old K100s and he leased them to CSX Railroad. So anytime we went to go visit him, because he did a repair shop. So not only he was doing that, I go play in the trucks. So I had my blast of being around a truck since day one. And then after that, then I got into wreckers. And when you start seeing them big boys rolling around, then you're like, man, I got to play with one of those too. And I ended up doing that for a couple of years. On and off, I probably say probably 15, 16 years. I drove wrecker, had many years of experience with it. I still have companies that are still here in Tennessee and in Florida uh, that hit me up that want me to come back to work that said and say, hey, man, um, I need a wrecker operator. I'd like to have you come back and go to work for me. And I'm like, yeah, I would love to, but I just
That's
I'm
right.
not able to at the moment. But I mean, it's bad when you got the knowledge, but your body says we ain't gonna work it. I mean, it really is.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
my intention is,
You reach
hey, I'm
that
gonna start
sometimes.
going to wrecker class and teach these people.
Right, right. Hey, I'll tell you what, Lefty. Let's go in the shop here and let them look around for a minute.
Yeah,
See
show me
her
what you're
project.
doing. Show me what's going on with that 25 ton that we've been doing
Yeah,
a little. We're gonna be doing.
I'm gonna take you out
Let
here.
everybody know.
I'm gonna
Let
let them see
everybody
the.
know.
Can you see the line up here?
There's his lineup. Now I'm gonna
There's our.
tell you his international flatbed right there. He's got some custom work done into that. That thing. I will tell you, he's got some money tied up into that truck. He's actually got the seats in that truck. Tell us a little bit about the seats in that truck. What you got done to them. I know what it is, but it's better when it comes out of your
I
mouth.
had them. I, well, I had them custom built. I'll open the door here and let you have a little look. See, uh, that's real American flag in there, Lefty, on those seats. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
this truck is a 1995 model. There's our little bit of our interior work here.
Yeah, even the
It's
floor
a
is done, guys.
95
Even the
model.
floor.
This is our Veterans Memorial truck. That's our Eagle throw here over the back seat, and it's all uh, American flag, everything. We did it all upright. I still got to do the door panels, a few things like that to it, but it's got our "We the People" flag on the hood. In God we trust. I've spent quite a bit of money on this old truck, building it to where it is now, and I'm not done with it. I'm going to do a lot more to it as time goes on. But here's our newest unit. This is our Kenworth 330 rollback. It's got a 21-foot steel bed on it. But there's the
Now,
old dog.
there's the old dog. I'm telling you guys, it might be an old dog, but that thing right there, I couldn't believe how smooth that thing rode. That truck rode really, really smooth. It ran really, really good. Um, and that thing has got what type of transmission is it got in it
It's got
again?
it's true Mac. It's got the 12-speed in it. Oh, here's
Yeah,
another
it's
classic.
got the
Now, if you can
indirect,
see it, you
direct,
see
and the overdrive.
there's
Yep.
another classic. There's my old '77 International dump truck,
Yep.
671 Detroit, 10-speed. That's what we keep it here to haul driveway stone and things like that. And then there's the little truck that I bought when you were here,
Yep.
the
The
little,
little
the
12
little
ton.
12-ton unit.
Yep.
Super, super, super nice little truck. But getting back to the old dog, that's a '86 model Mac. It's got the 350 Mac with the 12-speed. Not everybody can drive that 12-speed transmission. That's an
Yeah.
old
Well,
school deal, you
that
know.
thing is definitely it. You definitely have to have the skill set to drive that thing because it's got the indirect, the direct, and then the overdrive on it. And man, if you're not knowing what you're doing, you definitely don't want to miss a gear in it.
That's exactly right. You was talking about those chairs here. Here you go.
Yep.
They're pile full of junk right now, but uh, there's a swing. That's the loafer's porch or the liar's porch, I guess you call it. where all the old timers come in too. But we'll go in here just
And
if I
you have a lot of bit of that. You have the firefighters that come down there that sit down there
yeah
and shoot the crap with you.
yeah and then we got old man Dave. He's one of my mechanics. He's been with me for 9 years now, and he'll be 81 in April, and you wouldn't know he was a day over 50.
Yeah, he didn't look. That's what I'm saying. He didn't look like he was over 50 when I seen him. Maybe 51, 52. I didn't know he
Yeah,
was 81.
yeah, he'll
Wow.
be 81 in April. Right here's a project that he's doing. You saw it when you were up here.
Yeah, he was doing
There's
rebuilding the
the,
dozer.
there's the dozer. We've got the rails back under it. Got new idlers on it. He's got the transmission back in it. It's coming along. And then here's I was going to show you this toolbox. You remember how rough this box was? If I can get it
Yeah.
where you can see it. See, here's the bottom of
Oh,
it
yeah.
where we put all that new bottom on it. There's the new floor. I mean, it's coming right along. There's the new front. Here's our new front piece that we put in the center here.
Yeah, I see you got the headache rack moved, and it's up there.
Yeah, it's we got it moved, and then of course here's we're still in the process on the back of the cab, but I've got quite a bit of the hood here. I mean, I'll just show you the hood.
Yes.
I've got it. It's all ready for primer now.
Nice.
And,
Nice.
it's coming right along.
And that's an old GMC white, right?
Yeah, it's an old 95
Volvo.
model GMC white.
A lot of people look at them, they go, man, that's an old Volvo. And it's not a Volvo. It's actually an old GMC white. So it is an actual true GMC white.
It's a true GMC white. Now, as you can see, I got the door off of it. Man, that interior is in good shape in this old truck. I mean, it's too good a truck not to fix up. Do what, Lefty?
I said it needs a little cleaning now. All the
Oh
dust.
yeah, it's a mess right now. I mean, I've got part of the chrome off of it, the hood hinges, and you can see, where we've been working on the paint.
Yep.
But here's a little bit of and this is all, guys. This is all done right here in my shop. You see
and it's done by him and two young guys he's got. Yeah.
This right here is all we've hand bent all this right here for all this. We did it by hand here. I've got a manual bender that would just take a 20-ton jack and put it in it. It bends all this metal for us. We fabricated it and worked it ourselves. And I've always, done paint and body work. That's what I specialized in at my trade. But this door here is one that came off of it. Yep. And what's happened?
I've seen them laying up on there working and trying to.
Now this is the one we took off. See this place? We get it where I can get it right here where you can see it. See here where it's been bent up pretty bad right here.
Yep, from where like someone smacked a mirror. Yep.
Yeah, somebody's hit it, snagged the mirror. I mean, that door can be repaired if a man ever wanted to fix it. But I already had a donor truck out here, and of course, here lays the door over here on the sawhorse. Here's the door we're going to be putting back on it. I've got it prepped and clean it up here and get it ready for primer. And hopefully tomorrow afternoon, the interior part of that new door will be done, and I can hang it back on the truck. So I don't want to do much more sanding outside the truck till I get that door hung back up, keep all that dirt and dust out there.
Yeah.
And then here is all you old school guys, 0855 series Cummins, 400 big cam sitting here.
Oh yeah.
That's going to go in my 92 Pete, the old Coca-Cola truck.
That too.
You saw it.
Another plastic that's hiding over the hill that we ain't saying what's going on. We're trying to figure out. He's trying to figure out what he's going to use it for, and I looked at it and I said, "Man, it's a beautiful truck. I mean, for an old classic, it is a beautiful truck." And I don't know. I haven't quite figured out. I've come up with some ideas, but I just ain't quite figured out what would fit that truck to what you want to use it for.
Right, right. I think it would make a cool service truck. Put a service body on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Make a nice, yeah. Put a nice little service
Yeah,
body on it, with a little crane on it. I think that thing would turn out pretty sweet.
yeah, yeah. All
You might
right.
want to change
Right
the
here.
gear ratio though, because you don't want to run 50 mile an hour though.
Check out our new Jacob's garage heavy wrecker here. See that?
There you go. Yep. I like that.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And guys, I thought I was fascinated with lights. I'm close, but him and his daughter are a lot more into the lights than what I have or what I got. Because he keeps looking at his daughter, going, "Oh, we got more. Got another package. Oh, got another package." I think he got 3 packages in the day I was there, and from where she ordered. More
Oh
tissue
yeah,
lights,
yeah.
more strobe lights. Yeah, she's a light
Oh, man,
fan.
I think I ordered some more yesterday, Lefty.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I
Yeah.
sure did. I was cleaning up the mess the puppy made for me there. He got in the office. Hey, any of you guys out there that would like to have them? I have two. They're American Bulldog and Black Lab Cross puppies. They're about 9 weeks old right now. Uh, I'll turn around here where you can see. Can you see them, Lefty?
Yep, I can see them.
There's
Man, them
Ghost, the little
guys here.
white-headed one, and
Yep.
there's a little black one. She's a female. Ghost, there's a little boy dog. I've got one more of the females. Rachel's got her over at her house right now, but
Oh, does she?
they're
I think she's trying to
we're
keep
going to.
you.
Well, I think she wants to keep Ghost here.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, she wants to keep the little boy dog. If I keep having to clean these messes up, I may bring them to your house.
No. I don't need any right now. I don't need any right now.
I heard that.
I got enough going on. I don't need an extra mouth to take care of because shoot, I'm doing good enough to do on my own.
I heard that. Yeah,
Now my
they're
neighbor might
adorable.
be a different story. I think she might snag them up, but yeah,
Right, right. Yeah, they're a lot of fun to have around.
they are.
Bosco, I don't know where he's at right now. He's usually up here with me, but I haven't seen him.
He probably went back to the house. Said, "I'm going where it's warm."
He's either there or down at Mom's on the back porch.
Well, yeah, could be that too.
Hey, here's our new tie down straps for the rollbacks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got 3 boxes of them in the other day. And then I got us a set of new. You can hear them rattling here.
Oh yeah. What'd you do? Get a new set of J hooks?
New set of J hooks.
New set of J hooks. I'll take your old set. You want to get rid of them?
Now, if you need a set, I got a couple of extra sets that we've discontinued because of their age. They're still good. I just replace them. I replace them, Lefty, because the liability.
How much strength is? Yeah.
Yeah, you
They're
can.
so long, and then you got to change them out anyways, because after
Oh,
so
yeah.
long of use and age, they start cracking, or they get a weak point in the chain, or they're stretched. Yeah,
That's it.
and you don't want to be pulling up somebody's car with it if it's got a stretch or a stretch crack in it that you don't really pay attention
Right.
to. Because one, you don't want that hook coming at you because you're one of the targets, and you definitely don't want the car rolling off of it and running back the other way.
Absolutely. It's I try to keep that stuff up to date. I change cables on those rollbacks, a couple times a year, but I've went with the synthetic rope this time. I got I got 2 new ropes the other day, 85 feet in length, 41,000 pound toe strength.
Wow.
That's going to pull any car or pickup truck you need to pull out from any situation.
How's that working for you? Because I got a lot of people that's got mixed signals on the wire compared to the nylon. I mean,
The nylon won't tangle up and tie you down in your winch cable. Like if you freewheel it,
yeah.
I know you freewheeled the old cable type with the cable on
Oh
it.
yeah, and
And
it
you
gets
think,
a
man,
spider web in it. Yeah.
I'm gonna pull this thing down here and hook to this car real quick, and you take about three steps, and it jerks your shoulder out of place because it's hung.
Yep.
Your synthetic's not going to do that. It's not going to do it. And let's see, I might have a new box here. Let me look and see right quick.
Yeah, see, that was the biggest thing about dealing with cables. It didn't matter if it was on a rack or on a flatbed. The flatbeds were the worst because doing whatever you were doing, you always
Yeah,
ended up with a tension or rolling up on itself. And if you didn't do it
right.
right, you spool it every time and roll it, you end up with an
Here's
issue.
a brand new one. We'll just open one here real quick and show them kind of what it is. It's pretty cool stuff, and they're not that expensive. You know, you'd think that it would be pretty expensive, but you'll buy this somewhat cheaper than you will the cable, and
Really?
it's got a longer life. Uh, it's 41,000 pound strength. And if you double that, you're going to be able to pull twice what it's calling for.
Yeah.
There's
So
the hook. I mean,
wow.
it's got the hook with that's the big heavy.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
heavy
that's
duty
super
one.
nice.
Yep.
And you can find, we're particular where we buy from, but you can get them online. But right here, I'm not going to take those zip ties off, but
Yeah.
there's your tab that goes in your winch.
All right.
You slide that in there, to start winding off of.
All right. Yeah. Where you slide it in and then set your set screw to it to hold it.
Yep. And then here's your end that it's wrapped.
Yeah.
You got your.
Oh, all right. So yeah, all right.
know,
So it's braided back
your
into itself with a wrap on it to
yeah,
keep
and then
it.
you're wrapped back here. You're wrapped back here a good 2 foot to 28 inches or so. Plus, you got your good steel inlay here to
Yeah.
put
And
your
then
hook
you see what
into.
fiber
So,
back into itself. Yeah.
and look at how that thing's.
Yeah.
That's some pretty good stuff right there. You can just
Yeah.
work it any way you want to, and I mean it just pulls right back together. And I mean,
Nice.
snatch it up. It's just great,
Yeah. You
And
can't
that's
go back.
what we're going to on our rollback trucks. Now, I don't think I'm going to use it on the 12 ton or anything like that, but this is what we're going to on the rollbacks.
All right. When you figure out if that works really well, then maybe you might
If
switch
we
it out.
figure out it works really well, we'll get stronger strength, bigger to see how it
Bigger
goes with the heavy trucks. We'll see what they recommend, and I'll
Yeah,
probably
because
go to
I
some.
know you said you got new cable on the big heavy on the 40 ton because you got that was on
Yeah.
there when it was new, right? When you bought it.
Yeah, the guy I bought the 40 ton from just had to put new cable on it.
Yeah, so
And
you ain't
that
gonna
old,
worry about it for at least another 3 or 4 years.
yeah, and that old Mac ain't got but 52,000 miles on it, so it's it's an '86 model, but it's a right new truck.
Yeah, that thing's still in its prime. Yeah, because that
You
ain't
know,
many miles. It might have some hours on it, but it ain't got many miles.
no. Well, it said idle most time. Best I can find out, Ryder Company out of Florida had that truck built for their own use back in the day. So and you can go back under the burgundy paint that's on it and see the yellow where it was a Ryder truck.
Wow. You would have never thought Ryder had their own wreckers.
That's true. That's true.
Because usually, I mean, they just deal with, lease trucks. You wouldn't think they'd be out with their own wrecker. Maybe at the time it was probably cheaper for them to do that and go get their own stuff than it was to send a company out for it.
Could have had back in the day. I never. That's the only one I've ever known of. And same time, that's just just what the story was behind the truck. That's what I've checked it out back all the way back to Jacksonville, Florida, where it originated from, and it was supposedly a Ryder tow truck from the day it was bought brand new.
Wow.
And I've crawled under it and looked at the frame. It's not been cut and stretched. It's original frame all the way through. It's all original frame. Double frame truck, camelback suspension. I mean, it's true Mac.
Yeah.
And, back in the day, if you think about it, back there in the 80s, Ryder run a bunch of MOR Model Max. They had several of them back there through the late 70s, right on up into about 88 or 89. Then they started switching over to some different brands.
Yep. Yeah, and then it's when they started switching over to the Volvos, the Freightliners, some Peterbilts.
Right.
And that because they went with the cheaper price because they can get them cheaper that way.
Oh, yeah.
In that. On that note, we're going to take a quick commercial break real quick, and then we'll be right back with y'all. And here we go.
Yo, another big shout out to Bull Snot. Check it out, y'all. Look at those wheels. Now we've driven on these wheels. We've driven on these wheels clean since Batiste cleaned them at Chips, Cars, and Coffee. And I don't even see brake dust build up. I mean, really, look how crispy this is. That's that Bull Snot work right there. Look, and we drove it all the way back from Chattanooga. It's Bull Snot. We plugged in with them today. Bull Snot actually directly reached out on our in our comments section, so they're really pleased with Batiste's work, and I reached out to them to see if they want to work with us directly. But look at the shine on the tires and the wheels.
Yeah, it made it all the way home
from Chattanooga, and now we've been driving it all week back and forth for school for the kids, for you to work, and today's Wednesday. So the question is, and it was raining. That's right, I forgot about that. And it did none of the brake dust or anything, man. That's crazy.
Even when I drove it in the rain last night.
Yeah. Everybody, Bull Snot is the way to go. If you're going to get it, I got a whole line. Let's see if I can get the camera to angle that way. There's the whole product line. Well, part of the product line I got sitting right there. That's the riddable, the freeable, the blastable, the visible, the dashable, the polishable, and the leatherable. And that's what I use, guys. That's what I use to clean up my vehicles because I do have leather seats in one. I have cloth in the other. And, that's what I use to clean up my trucks. I love the dashable. Put the first coat down, clean it. And then you take the second coat and go back over it, and it'll actually repel dust and dirt. And you can also use it as an anti-fogger on your windshield. Spray it on there real good and then rub it in really, really nice. And you actually end up with a anti-fog on your windshield. And that's with the dashable. Believe it or not, it's designed to do both. And then the freeable, that stuff, it's got a wonderful smell to it. It don't smell like Blaster or like PB Blaster or WD-40. And it works better than both of them. In my opinion, it works better than both. I mean, I can spray it. My neighbor was working on his Jeep and was trying to get the tie rod ends off. He sprayed one side with WD-40 and I sprayed the other side with the freeable. And within the matter of seconds, you can see as I was spraying, it was blowing the rust out of it, the dirt. And then the other side, he was doing the WD-40 and it took it almost 10 to 15 minutes to get it to where we could even turn the tie rod ends out. Where the freeable sprayed it in there, and it was less than a minute. We were able to right back out, and it didn't have that horrible smell. So, if you guys get a chance, go over to Bull Snot. You can go to bullsnot.com or Brown Ox Adventures, or you can go into your app store and go in there and download the Bull Snot app, and you can get everything in there and all the tutorial videos on showing you how the product is to be used and what it's used for. And you can get that. You can also get the Bull Snot merch and everything else from there too. So that's on that. Real quick, Greg, I'm going to play this video real quick, and then I'll play the other one behind it. Like I said, I want to give a shout out to Everything Auto out of Gatlinburg, Tennessee. They let me use this video of theirs, and then I'll let you get back, and I'll come back with the second half of what they said.
Why in the world an 18-wheeler decided to go on the Roaring Fork Motor Nature Trail? We've got a bad situation.
This is gonna be so bad.
What? Dispatch said 7,000 pounds?
That's what he said.
She said there's never been a tractor down Roaring Fork Motor Nature Trail.
Ever.
Ever.
The ranger said when the call came in, she said, I thought this was a joke. This can't be real. Well, it was real. They said it's a tractor trailer about to turn over onto a house. So that's not a sight for sore eyes. Why would you keep going? How much weight is in that?
29.
29,000?
So the only thing stopping it from sliding the rest of the way is that rail on the back end.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what are the odds of, I mean...
You got an ambulance coming now. She probably hurt herself.
Oh no, she fell in the creek.
If she leaves in an ambulance.
Got no driver on top of a load that I probably should bow out of, guys.
Yeah, he's got a 12-ton. He's got a 12-ton 5,500 Dodge that he's got with the stiff legs and everything that he's done. It's his newest truck. He's able to do some of that stuff, but he goes, I'm maxing it out if I double it up. He goes, we're talking a max of what he could do. And then trying to figure out if he was able to pick it up, get it back over on the road. There was no need for it. And like he said in that video, while they were doing that, the driver fell off into the 8-foot canal that's in there and landed on the bottom. And an ambulance coming for her. That's what the officer said. So on that note, this is the little thing that they were doing on a live, and I come in there and I commented and told them thank you, and that we were getting the word out to get drivers to quit following their GPSs, because that is not where you need to be. Your GPS is going to take you where your truck does not need to be, especially on a one-lane road in a national park because 40 shut down. There's other ways of getting around it. You don't need to be going that way.
Well, and anytime, another thing you can look at too, anytime a road has 3 numbers for a road number, stay off of it with a semi. If it's got 3 numbers on it, it's somewhere on that road you're going to get hung up. It's going to be a switchback. It's going to be a drop off. There's going to be a narrow place. There's going to be something that's going to stop you from going on through.
Yeah.
And,
especially
you know,
here,
a lot of your 2-lane, unless it says U.S., U.S. highway, just like my highway down through here by my shop, U.S. highway 65.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you get down here next to Dungannon, Virginia, it's a U.S. highway 72, but there's a big sign there, a big billboard with flashing lights on it. No semi trucks, nothing over 35 feet in length around that road because of the switchbacks and the hairpin curves. You know, just kind of like 421, some of these national parks like you're talking about.
Yeah.
We got a section up here. And a lot of you drivers out there that's listening might know this highway. It's Route 80 off of Interstate 81. It's exit 24 in Meadowview, Virginia exit. Route Highway 80 called Hyder's Gap comes back across, dumps you out on 19 North over here. A lot of the drivers thinks it's a shortcut, because it cuts 50 miles off their route, but it's not. There's too many switchbacks. There's too many curves. Over my career in the wrecker business over the last 20, 25 years, I can't count the trucks that we've had to take 2 wreckers, one from my Meadowview side, one from the Russell County side, to get a semi truck out of a curve. And hopefully when we get there, he's not went too far and turned over. We've had him turned over the bluff with loads of lumber and everything else on that road.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're seeing a lot of them that they're not paying attention to the switchbacks. That's another thing.
True.
Not paying attention to.
Very true. And they got signs up there now, but still a lot of them go on anyway. They think, well, it can't be too bad.
I
If
mean,
you
it's
come
like
in from the
yeah, it's just like they have the national park. They even got rangers, but they're not there at night because
right,
park's closed. But they even got signs there that says no trucks, do not come through this. We're not a truck route, and they just blow by it like it ain't. But they ain't talking about me. But I'm running a 53 footer, but they ain't talking about me, and they keep going.
yeah,
And that's the
that's
problem.
right.
And,
This is
but I
true.
want to get back to Jeff and them, which is Jeff, him and his wife Christy. They both own everything autos, and this is what they did on their live the other night.
Hey, yes, Left Lane, yes. I was happy to be able to talk to you there a little bit. I know you're having some difficulties getting the live up for you, but hopefully everything went well, and we appreciate you sharing the content and getting things out there. So Left Lane with Lefty is
yeah, go check us out. Go check out the podcast. I meant to slide over there and check it out, but it's been kind of busy. So thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, I've got so many things that we've gotten.
In the middle of his live getting a tow call. So his wife and his son had to take out and go do it while he finished up his live. But they were in the middle. He was in the middle taking a phone call right in the. I mean, towing never stops. It don't when you're 24/7.
No, it don't. Rachel's got she takes care of our dispatch 24/7 dispatch, and it's never ending. The weekends are always busy. We're busier on Friday and Saturday nights a lot of times than we are through the week, but that's just the way it works when you're in this business. Terry Hagee from Hagee's Garage taught me this years ago. I worked for Terry off and on for 20 years. Greatest man I ever knew in the towing business. He was a towing legend in this part of the country. He said, if you're going to be in the towing business, always remember you are a service company. No matter what hour you get the call, you got to be ready to roll.
Yeah, exactly. And back when I was in Orlando, when I worked down there, we were on 36-hour shifts. So the way it started out was on Monday, you started at 8 p.m. Tuesday at 6 is when you got off the clock. But then if you took your truck home, you were still on call. You were just running backup for the other team that was running. So we had A team, B team. We had, what was it, 4 little wreckers, 6 flatbeds, and then it was 3 heavies on at night. That was on our A team, and then B team was set up the same way. And then you alternate at night, but during the day, you had both teams running. So you were constantly running no matter what. So your day would start all day. And then at night, if it was your team, you were on team A. And then you would run all night and then work the all next day. Then at 6 o'clock, then it would switch. Then you could go home, but then you had to be back at 8 o'clock the next morning, be ready to do it all over again. But then when it was your weekend, and seeing that's the way it worked, was Friday. So when I had to work Friday, you got there at 8 p.m. Friday morning or 8 a.m. Friday morning. You worked all day, all night. You had all day Saturday, Saturday night, Sunday night, and all day Monday. Then you got your time off from then. So the whole weekend you were on the clock. You rolled whenever they needed you to roll. And as
That's
big
the way
as
it
they
was
are,
with Hagee.
yeah, and we had a bunkhouse, so we actually stayed at the shop because I lived within 5 miles of the shop. I could have took a truck home, but it was just easier for me to get into doing police calls because with our area, we were in the second largest county in the state. We were on Orange County. Our county covered all the way almost to 95, and it went almost all the way over into God, I think it was almost 70 miles across. So, you could run in any direction. And you weren't running out of county. You had a good ways to go. So we ended up with sector 2 and 4 for the county. And then we ended up with the whole sector 4 of the highway patrol. And then because we had sub areas, sub offices, because we could pick up other counties, man, 30 minutes and you're having to travel and run across 60, 70 miles in one shot. You're talking about some distance and trying to move, especially when you're coming out of downtown Orlando and you had to be in like Apopka. I mean, that's a good 45-minute drive easy in a car, just in a car. Now here you are trying to do it in a wrecker and you're trying to get over there to a police scene. Yeah. It was rough doing it there for a while. By the way, my baby girl says hello. Hello, baby girl. I hope you're doing all right. I hope you had a good Christmas. Call me whenever you can tomorrow or something. Yeah. So yeah, we were. I usually start my show. Well, hell, we've only been an hour and a half. That ain't bad. An hour and 15 minutes. My bad.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. I usually have more people that come in, but I guess they're all sitting in their truck sleeping, or they're at home with their family. Because usually, I do. We usually go 4 hours. I usually have 4 or 5 guys that are in the background, but they some of them popped in, but then they popped out, so they might be doing
Right.
something in that. But Greg, I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on and explaining a little bit about Jacob's Garage and what we got going on and some of the stuff we've been working on in the background. Hopefully, I get up there this coming week. You know, I got some things I need to do with my truck here, but as soon as I get that done, then I can be up there and we'll be doing some things and maybe. Like I said, I want to do a series. I want to be able to do a YouTube series, get you started with your platform on YouTube, get it going, and then do like these build offs, be able to do that on my channel.
Well, see, we don't just do our own builds, Lefty. If somebody wants a truck stretched or something like that, we'll be glad to help them with it. You know, I did one
that's
for
what I'm saying. I mean, doing different truck builds and
yeah.
doing all
If somebody
little
wants
things
to see some of our work, we did one for Whitaker Transportation here not too long ago. He's building him a toy hauler. I did a 74 model 359. We stretched it and made 310-inch wheelbase. Super nice little day cab. He's putting him a toy hauler bed on it, so it's going to be a nice truck.
Ooh, that's going to be sweet. And then I know you got some other stuff that was in the works that you had that might be coming up later on too. And you're up there around around Kaiser and all them because they come through there too. I got quite a few of the Kaiser boys.
Yeah, Greg and Mitt, they're really good friends of mine. You know, they do the Big Rig Showdown up here. I used to drive a little bit for them boys back in the day. Go, you know, if they had a driver off or something, do a little relief for them. You know, from time to time. It's been a while, but you know, I've been so busy with my own thing since. But you know, great guys, great people. You just can't ask for any better people than Greg and Mick Kaiser. Just super good guys. Top notch equipment.
Yeah.
They keep it in super immaculate shape. Just amazing people. They're just great people.
And what's amazing with them is they don't send their stuff out to a shop. Greg Kaiser's
do it
there
all
in
in-house.
the shop with his mechanics putting this stuff in. I went up there and I sat because I got a buddy of mine, TC. He drives for them, and I went up there to go talk to them and pick him up to bring him home because his wife had to work. She works at the she now works at the Davy Crockett truck stop. She works there in the parts department.
Yeah, they're at the 36.
Yeah, down there at the 36. Yeah. And she was there and she couldn't go get him. So I said, all right, I'll go pick him up. Give me some time out of the house. So I went and picked him up and I was sitting there for, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes. Greg is in there already pulling the dash and pulling the visors out, putting the watermelon lights in, making sure they were exactly the way they were needed to be. Greg says, and I said, you guys ain't got someone? He goes, no, I do this myself. He goes, me and 2 other guys, and that's what we do. Every one of these trucks, you guys want something done, we'll get it, we'll put it on, we do the work in-house. We don't send it out. And that's what makes it more special, because it's not just, hey, it's an owner of a trucking company. It's an owner that actually puts his own time into these trucks to make their trucks look good, and that their drivers are comfortable and driving a nice ride when they're driving down the road, that they actually show a little effort and pride into their own self.
Absolutely.
Like you do. You're just doing it more old school than they are, but you put a lot of time and effort and pride into what you do.
Absolutely. That's our livelihood. You know, we gotta, if you don't take pride in your work, there's, you know, you can't make any progress. In other words, you know, as my granddaddy would have said it, he'd said, son, anything worth doing is worth doing right the first time. You know, if you're going to build a truck, build it right. Don't cut no corners. Don't take no shortcuts. Do it the right way to start with, and you don't have to back up.
Exactly. And then you don't have no issues later on down the road.
That's correct. You know, and like you said earlier, I like old school stuff. You know, yeah, I like these new trucks too. I like these nice newer model Pete's and Kenworths. But just, I grew up old school. I grew up with these old cab overs and these old, like SOR Model Mac and these old white GMCs, and that's just what I stick with. I stick with what I know. These guys around here close got old school trucks and need stuff done to them. They come see us because they know we're old school guys.
Yeah, I mean, I sat there and I found this one the other day, and I'm gonna pull us off real quick and show the people. What this right here was a rough that I found that is for sale, but I have to look up and see where it's at again. But it was something that caught my eye because it's a rare breed. It really is. It's an old rare breed, twin steer Freightliner.
Oh yeah. You know, Lehigh Truck Stop had a what was that cab over Ford back in the day? The CL 9000.
Yep.
The Lehigh Truck Stop up there, upper part of Virginia, they had one of those old CL 9000 cab over Fords with a big Holmes wrecker and an underreach on it.
Nice. And that's what I said. It's the old school stuff that I like looking at. I mean, because I grew up with that stuff. Not meaning that I got to drive it, but I grew up with it running around down on the roads. Got to sit in them, play in them. I mean, it's just stuff that you don't want to let go of because it's true history.
Very true. You know, the first wrecker truck I can remember sitting in, my dad he bought a 57 Chevrolet, 57 or 58 model Chevrolet, big old heavy truck. It had a W4 wrecker body on it, twin boom. And it had a lever there on the side of the truck body, the wrecker body. You pull that lever and it would mash the clutch in the cab of the truck.
Wow.
You could disengage it. You could disengage your clutch in the truck with the lever on the wrecker body. And, you know, it was all manual, all cable.
Yeah.
And then he finally traded around and got a B model Mac. And I think I sent you a picture of Dad standing beside that B model with that W4 on it.
I think so. I think I may have it.
That's the first wrecker build that I can remember growing up as a kid. And like you know, I remember it growing up as a kid. I rode in it, you know, back 5, 6 years old, you know, back in the 70s and early part of the 80s when he had that old truck.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I don't know, 82 or 83, I guess he switched it over to that B model Mac. And now there's a company up in Tazewell, Virginia, got that wrecker truck sitting on their yard just as a showpiece. That's the wrecker that Dad sold the wrecker to them, and that was their first tow truck to get started in business. Back in the 80s, they started towing, and that was their first truck, was that old B model Mac with that W4 on it, and they've kept it just for sentimental values. I've tried
Nice.
to buy it. I've tried to buy it a couple of times, and they won't even talk about it.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, I'd like to have it. I'd set it out here on the end of the lot, just for advertisement, and put my sign on it.
I heard that. That's what I would do.
That's true old school. That old twin stick B model Mac was probably a 237 or whatever they had back then. It was about a 57 or 8 model truck.
Yeah.
But that was old school trucking. That's the only way to go.
But then the other news that come out, I'm looking at it, waiting for it to pull it up. They were talking about the structure of the new factory built next to Jiga, Nevada factory has Tesla announced the plans. Oh, so Tesla has started plans back then, but I guess in April, Tesla stated that the Tesla semi truck would be in production by late 2025. So Tesla is going to be bringing out their semi, bringing it out in late 2025 is what that's all about. But I was looking to see if I could figure out where it went to, but I'm not seeing it. It was supposed to be on the status. No, it's the testing grounds.
Right.
Endorsements required. Nope. Oh, that's the new 1 year experience. Hazmat CDL company drivers now 1 year experience required OVTR and TWIC /A/8 endorsements required. Must be by federal carrier. Now the motor carrier must be
I'm trying to find
hazmat operators. Now they're supposed to be doing that. The one I was looking at is I do not see it here. It should be a video. Ohio rest areas along I-76 reopen after closure in 2021. So I guess they figured out there's enough traffic going on that they're actually opening up the rest areas there along I-76 in Ohio.
Right.
Yep. Oh man, that sucks. It's another one that's happening now too. This is also trucking news that come out too. Let's see what this is all about. We'll pull this up here real quick. Get it on there. All right, so there's that. We'll go back over here. All right, we're going to present. Just hang on a second. Share screen. Yep. Yep. There we go.
I'm trying to find a good charging cable. My charger don't seem to be working very well right now.
Uh-oh, that sucks. All right, so we got ourselves moved over. We're actually looking at the screen. All right.
Okay, I see that.
So this is from CDL Life, which I've already hashtagged them and added them into the description, guys. This is on U.S. DOT announces fines increases for truckers' regulation violations. Truckers who violate the federal regulations will pay more after official announced the annual increase in financial penalties in the order to keep up with inflation. Like they need to keep up with inflation. They're the ones, they're part of the federal government. In a U.S. Department of Transportation notice to be published in the Federal Register on December 30th, which is, I believe, today. Yes, that's today. Officials announced an increase to civil penalties amounts for regulation violations. the Federal Civil Penalties Inflation Adjustment Act of 2015 requires all federal agencies to, including the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, to increase fines every year to account for the inflation in order to maintain their deterrent effect. The new fines. Whoa, what happened here? No, I don't want to look. Hold on. Here we go. Get back over here. It wanted to go the other way. All right. The new fines will be effective immediately upon publication in the Federal Register on December 30th. You will see the tables below to view the new civil penalty amounts. All right, the description. ABEX A4 out of service order, operation of commercial vehicle, the CMV by driver. All right, the citation is 49 U.S.U.C 2 or 521, paragraph B, paragraph 7. Existing penalty now, it is $2,304. The new penalty will be $2,364. So it's gone up $60 on an out of service violation, guys. So
Right.
2,000. So now it's a $2,364 fine instead of just a $2,300 fine. All right. Now on a level 4, this is Apex level 4, A4 out of service order requiring permitting vehicles of CMV by driver, which is the same U.S. code. That penalty used to be $23,048. It is now $23,647. Level 4 out of service violation and intramodule equipment that was placed out of service. All right, so it's the same price there on that. It's gone up $60, where the other has gone up $600. 600. Well, I'd say it's gone up $599 because it's like $1 short from being exactly even 600. Yeah, same thing on the others. All right, on an Apex A4. Out of service, failure to return written certification correction. The fine used to be $1,152. It is now $1,182, guys. It went up $20, which ain't too bad. So now we're talking about your oversized, your bigger vehicles. Failure to out of service, failure of ceased operation to cease operations in order as ordered. The fine used to be $33,252. It is now $34,116. All right, operating in violation, out of service, operating in violation. The fine used to be $29,221. It is now $29,980. So it's gone up about $700, guys. Just, yeah, a little over 700. And then on the same thing, conducting operations during suspension or revocation for failure to pay penalties. The fines used to be $18,752 or $59. It is now $19,246. And that's just on that. Now, when you get in the Apex B, the fines go on. I mean, they jump 5, another 1,000. These are higher numbers. Violations of hazardous materials regulations, HMRs, and safety permitting regulations, transportation of shipment and hazardous material. If you get your driver is responsible, financial responsibility violations. All right, it went from $99,756 to $102,348. This is on hazardous material, people. Hazardous material. Hang on a second. There we go. Started getting a little chilly in here. Then this is on your apex appendix. Appendix violations. This is your BE2 violations of hazardous material. This one is safely training minimum penalty was $601, now $617. That's what the fines are. I'm rolling it through so y'all can see it. Now on hazardous material safety regulations, death. Now, if you have a violation that causes death or serious illness or severe injury to persons or destruction to property, it has now gone from $232,762 to $238,809. Operations after being declared unfit by assignment of a final unsatisfactory or safety rating. This is if you're unsafe or you found undeclared or unfit to drive. The violation, the penalty was $33,252. It is now $34,116. Guys, that one has gone up on you. Now we're looking at violations of commercial regulations, which is property carriers, which is CRs. Was 13,300. It's now 13,676. And the penalties are the same down at the bottom. Operating authority requirements. Foreign motor private carriers. Maximum penalty for international violations. Used to be $18,291. It is now $18,766. Violations of operation authority requirements. Foreign motor carriers, private motor carriers, max penalties, international violations under that same code, which is 49.U.SC. Or US.C 14901 note. The penalty used to be $45,730. It is now $46,918. Now this goes for broker for transportation of hazardous material. Motor carrier or broker. This is what this violation is for. It went from $26,602 to $27,293. Same thing on hazard. This is maximum. That was the minimum penalty. Maximum now is $54,585. Household goods. So I mean, there's a whole list. I would go through every single one of them, but these are like HHR or HHG shipment charging for services. Minimum penalty is subject to violation. Is still $10,000 now. It's $10,269. Additional tariff violations was $400. Now it's $410. And then it was $500, $513. Maximum now is $1,028. On freight forwarders, maximum penalties subject violations went from $4,000. Now it's $4,109. So yeah, guys, it's up there, and this is what's going on with the violations. I would read the whole thing, but there's a lot of it. But we'll go back over here. So yeah, that's what's going on with the violations and the fees and everything. And that's how that works. What are you doing, Mr. Greg? Oh, sorry.
Well,
I got this over here.
I was actually trying to see if I could
You
get
were
switched
trying
over to my laptop here, but I'm having trouble getting it switched.
I got you. You could probably, well, if you go into your messenger on your laptop, you can actually click in on that and it will pop you in that way. If you
That's
got
what I was
messenger on your
doing.
laptop. What's up, Renee? How you doing, sugar? Yes, Renee says the only effect that FMCSA has ever had is to make our industry more dangerous and cost us more money. That is, they have not one time passed. One time passed anything that made it safer anywhere. You're right. They really haven't. They haven't.
No, they haven't.
Surgeon.
None of those guys up there behind those desks making all those rules and all that stuff to try to make money, whatever, has never been in a truck. They know nothing about a truck, but yet
No,
they'll write a book.
Yeah, and we were just sitting there talking about that on the other, that we were trying to get them to do that.
Yeah.
My screen
I
is small. Get rid of this.
Yeah, mine went small too.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We'll enlarge it. There, is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's their, and that's just like going the e-log laws that they've come up with.
Yeah.
How many of those guys has ever been out here on the road and actually run a 70-hour week? We're out here trucking. I trucked over the road myself for several years. I pulled livestock for several years. And, a lot of these guys are having to be out here. You get down in the Carolinas and Atlanta and up Chicago, Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Some of your bigger, heavier populated cities. I don't want to run through those cities during rush hour.
No, and then your e-log, it keeps you on the clock. And then here's the other thing: when you're sitting at the shippers, and this is what I'm hearing a little bit of too. And we've had this discussion. I think last year we had a little bit of it, and it was on the fact that where we were talking about the time being in the seat. All right.
Yeah.
So if you happen to be on duty, even though you're sitting at a shipper, you can't go nowhere. You're sitting there, but you're on time. Then they need to be paid for that happen to be on that clock. If they have to be sitting in that seat and being on duty, even though they're sitting at a shipper and can't go nowhere, can't do nothing, and they're tied up for 8 hours, then they should be paid for that 8 hours, besides what they're getting for your mileage.
That's correct, because they're not.
Renee says there is a petition for a driver to be the head of the FMCSA. I posted it. I will post it on your page if it's not there. I appreciate it, Renee. Do it. Yeah, you go ahead and put it on my page. On all my pages.
Renee, go to our page, Jacob's Garage and 24-Hour Record Service. It's a Facebook page. You can look us up. It's a picture of a tow truck with me standing beside it. Post some of your stuff on our page also. We'll share it for you. Give us a friend's request. We also have a Jacob's Garage and 24-Hour Record page that you can go to and like that page. Go like it. We'll gladly share your stuff on our page.
Yep. That's the reason why I do this, because we were heavy into this and doing all this. It's just with me doing the treatments and everything, it put me down. And I kind of slacked off, and everybody knows that I used to have a hell of laces showing. My numbers are starting to come back up. I got just on YouTube last month or last week when I looked at it, we were over 20,000 just within a week. So I was like, all right, so the numbers are coming back up. So it's actually working. at one time I had over 70. I had one where YouTube sent me a thing on there. I had over 90,000 that were watching at one time. Renee
That's
says
awesome.
she will do that. She will put that on your Facebook.
That'll be awesome. Thanks, Renee.
She will get
Hey,
that
I'm gonna
thing.
step out here to the truck for a second, Lefty, and grab another phone charger. I'm down to 8%, man. I don't know
All right,
what's
go
going on
ahead.
with this thing.
No, go ahead. Go grab
I'll
another
be
charger.
right back.
Yep. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do another media video. This would be Jacob's garage. We're gonna take it. Where'd he go? By the way, guys. I have a new one coming out for New Year's, but I haven't got it done all the way. I'm still working out some of the bugs on it. It takes a little bit to play with this stuff to get how you want it to come out and the way you want it to play. It really does. But yeah, it just takes a little bit to get used to it. But this is from our good old buddy. We got some stuff coming up with this man right here, and the man that's actually doing the video. But this is from our sponsor, Boltsnut, which is I wouldn't call him a sponsor. He's more like a brother. He's like my older brother that keeps me out of trouble and then gets on to me when I need to be gotten on. Love Van to death. He's the greatest man you all ever meet in person. I know you all been to truck shows. You see him. He's a character. He's business up front, but when you get him off to the side and he ain't got his phone in front of him, you got to remember to keep the phone away. He becomes a total character, and he's a trip. But on that note, we're gonna play it real quick. But we got some stuff in the works with this man that's in the video, doing the video. So here I'm gonna go ahead and run it.
Hi, I'm Brandon Carpenter from Ashland, Ohio. I use Visible for just about everything on my truck. I'm out here at the show getting it cleaned up. This product is great for just about anything you can imagine on your truck. I use it on the chrome, the stainless. Heck, I even use it on the paint. Some people think it's just for glass, but really you can use it on just about anything. So get you a can and give it a try.
And that's Brandon Carpenter. As we all know, we've been seeing it on Facebook. He's been posting a little bit here and there, and that he's been doing some stuff. He is working on taking over the Mayberry Chrome Shop. Everybody knows he's over there trying to work, getting things in it. He's got a deal going on. But I got to get over there to him too and do a little presentation for him. But I know there's things together.
I said we might make that trip together. I got to go buy some chrome.
Well, hey, we can do that. We can do that. We'll go over there. I'll get you hooked up with Brandon. Believe it or not, that truck that he's in there, that's Murphy. That's the name of his truck is Murphy. That's a 1984 Kenworth.
Sharp looking unit.
He's done all the body work, the paint, motor work, everything. He's a mechanic by trade, but him and his dad started a company called Hollerback Trucking. A lot of us know who he is. But Brandon, this is an opportunity for him that he wanted. He wanted to get his hands into another business and get it going. And this kind of like ended up in his lap that he wants to try to straighten out, see what he can do with it. If it takes off, it takes off. If it don't, then, no hard feelings. But he's got his own little story that he wants to tell with this. So we'll do that at another date. But that truck come with an original 400 big cam. And then the motor let loose. He was somewhere, I think in California or something, delivering. This is a few years ago. Well, he decided to come up with the genius idea of putting a 14-liter Detroit in that bad boy. And that's what's sitting in that truck is a 14-liter Detroit 60 series. And Murphy's been good to him. He's done all the body work. He stretched Murphy out. last year, or I think last year or the year before. He stretched him out and got it all done up. Everything inside still the original. Outside, new paint. He's done all the work himself. And he also has Carpenter Customs, which he's done for this man here. I'll show you who he is, but he's got a white and red one, not this truck, but he's got another one that's a twin to this, but it's a white and red. And that Brandon has built, helped him build from the ground up, and had to redo it and did a big bunk on it. But it looks something like this, but it's actually reverse. It's white and then red.
My name's Gary Jones. I'm out of Lawson, Missouri. I got a small fleet. We use Bull Stop products on everything. Really impressed with the Shineable for the tires. It's working great. You can see all my truck 777. We're out here in East Tennessee at the Large Cars with Guitars show, and we always try to use our Bull Stop products when we're getting ready for the show.
But on that case, Brandon's got helped him build that other truck. He's got the other one, and that one is easy money, and he built that one. And Brandon's got some stuff going on over at that he's got coming out. So he's got a truck that looks just like that one. Brandon redid it. It had a regular sleeper on it, and then Brandon and him went out and got that. He stretched the truck out. Did all the plumbing, everything, put all the tanks in, put the big bunk on it. He had it almost 8 months or so. Brandon did all the work himself with his crew. It turned out really, really well. And then while he was doing that, he also did another build for, I'm trying to think of his name now. His name is Vince. Oh, shoot, I can't think of his last name. But he did a GMC. And did a rebuild on it and done it from ground up. I have videos, but it's I don't have them loaded up to this channel yet because I've had to redo my channel on here. But I have it on my actual YouTube page, and it's also on my Facebook. But yeah, and it's been pretty good. It's pretty cool. But we got some work. But you let me know when I'll call Brandon and find out when he's over there, and then we'll take a ride over there. We'll go do that.
Yeah, we'll go check it out. Check this out.
There you go. The Leather Bull. That's right.
The Leather Bull. Hey, man, this is some awesome stuff, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best stuff we have ever used here at Jacob's Garage. I mean, hey, you can wipe your seats down with this stuff, Lefty, and roll the window down and let it rain on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll beat up like you've waxed it. You can just wipe it off and go right on.
Yeah.
I mean, this is amazing. I've never, ever in my life used anything that works like the Bull Snot products do. They are just, it's amazing. You made a believer out of me with Bull Snot. We use it for everything now.
Yeah. And like I said, I got some glass cleaner. Like I said, I got some extras that I'm going to bring to you.
Okay.
And let you try them out.
I don't know if everybody can see them or not, but this is our new keychains. If anybody wants to reach out to us, these are $8 a piece. Got Jacob's Garage and 24-hour record service on them. They're leather with stainless steel backs. Super nice keychain. Keep your keys on them. Call Rachel. She'll fix you right up. She'll ship it out to you. Here's our Jacob's Garage and 24-hour record service hats, American flag to match old Archie, the old red, white, and blue international. That's Archie, by the way.
Oh, is it Archie? That's Archie.
That's Archie. That's his name. I bought that truck from a retired DOT officer. It was solid red. I'll show you some pictures sometimes, but that's
Andrew Farmer says, "Ain't it past your bedtime, Greg?"
Hey, Andy, you just keep that Kenworth in the right lane with the left door shut and go on to Chicago. Leave it to Andy. Hey, that's my boy right there.
Yeah, leave it to him to give you some grief.
Hey, listen. If he wasn't picking on me, I'd know he was mad at me.
I
But
heard that.
you guys, y'all can call Rachel on these hats and stuff. We're gonna have some hoodies up here before too long.
Yeah, you guys need to go check them out. I mean, they got some good stuff. We're always here to support the independents too. Renee says, later guys, I got to get some shut eye. I got car pickings up in the morning. I believe he's a mobile parking lot, or she's a mobile parking lot now. At 6 a.m. Y'all take care. I will get that stuff posted. Call me, Lefty. Sometime you got time to chat. Love you. I will do that definitely, Renee. I'll definitely get a hold of you, and we'll do a little bit of chatting there. And then we got Pimpin', Mr. K-Dub, Pimpin'. He's a wrecker operator too. He does his out of Tallahassee. He's ran rotator and runs a 50-ton whenever he's home and he ain't got nothing else to do, for a company that he's worked for years. And whenever they need him, they'll call him up and say, hey, and he'll jump in their 50-ton or their 70-ton rotator and do some work whenever he's home and they need the extra help. So, like I said, I got a mixed crew. They do, but Pimpin', he works for Hallahan Transport out of Wisconsin, and up there for Rob Hallahan. And he does a lot of trucking. Rob's got a beautiful trucks. They're show trucks too. And they do a lot of different things. Right now he's running oversized. He's running, I think they're block buildings. They're 14 wide, 13 tall, 14 tall, something like that. And they're almost 50 foot. So yeah, he's running oversized for Rob. And then they were hauling cattle. Rob's got his hands in a little bit of everything. So his guys run, depending on where they're at, they'll run milk, they'll run oversized, or they'll run dry van, or I think he's had them do a couple other things, but he's got all kinds of different things in the works for them. And I like Pimpin'. Pimpin', I've known him for quite a few years now, and he's been here since day one when I started the program. And the very second true podcast I did was done at his house. I done it at his place. So we are actually going on our, let's see, April. Yeah, geez, I can't believe it. It's been 5 years already. April 1st, which is April Fool's Day, but it's April 1st is when the podcast started. Left Lane with Lefty, 5 years ago. This coming April will be 5 years.
That's pretty awesome.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, we
hey,
started out.
Renee just sent me a friend request. We get off the show here, Renee. I'll get you added on, girl.
Yeah. You still got time, or you need a charger?
I'm good. It's charging up now.
All right, cool.
I'm gaining percentage instead of losing, so my charger must have been bad.
I heard that. Yeah, I usually have a lot of different stuff that I put in here. I've even got, I don't know if it's in the media. I do a lot of things that I do with different drivers. This truck right here, Greg, this one, I was sad to see it go, because this truck right here is a beautiful truck, but I have pictures, but I haven't put them up because I haven't been able to get a hold of the guy to if he wants me to put them up. He has them on, I think someone else put the pictures up, but I know who the guy is. But this is his truck. I'm going to show you this beautiful Pete. It's, I believe it's a 359.
I said, give me one of them Smith & Wesson Magnum 44s. Cause there's a man that the law let loose and justice was not done.
That's a 379 flat top.
Yeah.
That's an old school. He's got her dressed out old school. It passed for a 359, but it's got 379 breathers on it.
It used to pass as that, and it used to be a 379. Due to Hurricane Helene, that truck is no longer existing.
Oh my!
There's I did see a picture or two from, like I said, from someone else that was doing some filming and showed the truck, and yeah, it was buried under 30 foot of sand, and she ruined. I mean, the frame
Oh my
might still
God!
be good. I don't know if the motors ain't going to be any good, but the inside of the cab, and it blew out the walls, it blew out the back glass, the doors were blown off of it, but it was probably 4 foot of sand all through it.
Oh my goodness!
And it was buried, nosed in, the nose was twisted. So I don't know. It may still have a good frame for it, but looking at it, I mean, it was a beautiful truck. But yeah, it's no longer. I'm hoping the insurance will pay for it and for him to rebuild another truck. But yeah, it got taken, I think, somewhere like right around 4 or 5 miles from where it was at, and it just
Yeah,
got flooded.
I saw dump crawlers and everything. It was 10 miles from where they should have been.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that when it's moving water, and it's amazing what it'll do to you, especially with that much amount of rain being dropped and how much water was moving. I mean, right here at my house, I see it every morning. And like today, we had a little bit of rain last night, and then today, this afternoon, the water come up. And looking at it again, I was like, yep. And it's supposed to rain all night, so I figure it's probably going to come up another 2 or 3 foot by tomorrow. And that's just another thing that we got to keep an eye on, because our road is already weak. And they didn't put it back the way it should have been. It's just enough for everybody to go through just to get back home. But you can definitely see if we get another good pounding like that, I can see there might be some more road disappearing, and they'll have to come out and try to fix it what they can. My biggest fear is it's right here in front of my house. That's the bad problem.
Right.
From what I was looking at today, and it wasn't looking good. Renee says, oh, here we go. We'll put that right up there. Renee says she sent the address. It's change.org/P driver for the FMCSA administrator. Recruiter gives you the recruiter number and all that. And she says, here's the link to Jacob. I got one of yours. I sent you a friend request. God blessings. Thank you, Renee.
Sounds great.
You said you were going to get some, go get some shut eye, go relax, get you some sleep. We got this, and we'll go ahead and pull it out of here. I'll save it now. I'll copy it, and I'll post it up in other places too. But at least this is being posted right now. It's going on X, YouTube, Facebook. It's also being put in LinkedIn, and it's also going on Instagram. And there's 2 other locations I have on here. So that is being put out there. So anybody that wants that link, while you got it, I'll leave it up for another minute or so, and y'all can copy it. It's also in the chat, so you can get it from there.
Here you go, Lefty.
Hey, look, there's Trouble. What are you doing, Trouble?
Hey, trouble and double trouble. Look here, Lulu. Lucy, look up here. Hey, over here, girl. Lucy. Say, hey, guys, this is Lucy. And you can tell, she never gets fed. Look how fat.
Good night, Renee. Appreciate it, dear. Look at that.
There.
See, that one over there in the corner, the one that's barely looking. Yeah, that one right there. That is the. If you ever had any kind of fetish of anything, that one right there has a light fetish, and It's a light fetish. It's you ever seen a kid about
See
4
all
years
those
old
boxes? See all those boxes over there,
Christmas
Lefty?
presents? And I see the boxes. Yeah, look, those are all lights, people. Those are all lights, nothing but lights. There's strobe lights, penny lights, they're button lights, they're turn signal, they're light, all kinds of lights. I'm waiting for her to decorate her room. I thought she was going to use them for decoration, Christmas lights.
Hey,
Put them all over
she's
the
got
room.
chicken lights on her desk.
I do.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and I'm gonna tell you something. You ever get in the office when there ain't a whole lot of
Look
people
here.
in there? These two right here, Greg and her
Look
go
here.
back and forth in the office like two. I'm telling you, like two siblings. They go back and forth. Look at it. Look, see, there's a look. She got strobe lights sitting there on her desk.
She's got chicken lights on her office desk, guys.
Yes. You're talking about someone that likes lights. So you got chicken lights, strobe lights. Yeah. Yeah. And when when I was in there, Greg grabbed a set of lights. Those are my lights. Remember that box of lights we couldn't find? We found them. Oh, yeah, they were hidden. I got them now. They're not going anywhere. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She said she definitely, she's really strict on her lights, too. You don't grab them either.
She's an old bull hauler too, Lefty.
Yes.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she can handle that cow truck now, just like it ain't nothing.
Look at her. Look at her. Now we're getting all the stories. Now we're going to get the rest of the stories. We got you. So Andy's your son. She's your daughter, right?
Yep.
All right, I got you. See, and it's an all family business, guys, because even when Andy ain't working, he's over there helping his dad out. Like I said, we were over there running the equipment and doing for the new yard coming up to get it done. And then on top of that, he moves equipment around or moves things around. And if he's home, they have a rollover and they got to get a truck. He comes out with his truck and grabs the trailer or whatever. I mean, it's a family business, family deal, and they're great people to be around. They really are.
Oh, yeah, look at Lucy.
What are you doing? Like, I'm trying to find me a spot, but she's sitting in my chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, you going to talk to me?
She'll talk to you sometime.
Oh, yeah?
She sees the puppies down here, see?
She's like, yeah. See them things down there on my bed? She goes, yeah. Yeah, I can't go lay down and be comfortable. They're in my bed.
You don't need to lay down.
She needs to run about 2 miles a day and get rid of some of that extra weight so she can get around.
I hear you. I hear you.
She's a mess. Of course, look at her handler. She's a mess too, Lefty.
Yeah, I kind of figured something like that was going on. You notice how he said it was you're the mess, right?
That's right.
Well,
Rachel, she takes care of this place now, I tell you.
She keeps you in line.
You got that right.
I've been there in that truck when that phone call. I can't get a hold of you. Well, hey, just to let you know, I ain't got my phone on me. That was funny because it was, hey, I left my phone at the office.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do with it? I ain't answering that thing.
That's where the rapid radios come in handy.
Yeah, she didn't want no part of your phone.
Not a bit. I sneak off for sometimes and leave it laying there.
Radio though, and get a hold of you. Hey, you get a call. You need to call this one. You need to call that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, those rapid radios are pretty awesome.
Yes. That was actually, it's nice, especially being out there where you're at. The cell service sucks. And it
you got
really
that
works
right.
so well having that base station and then having all your vehicles set up with it.
Yeah, and then when you get tired of listening to Rachel, you can always turn the volume down.
But I still can get a hold of it.
I see that. You gotta
That
love it
don't
when
always.
you pick on each other.
Oh yeah, I mean, if we couldn't pick on each other, it wouldn't be any fun.
No, I definitely wouldn't. You wouldn't be in business. Not together.
No, ain't no way. It's a love-hate relationship, Lefty.
I know. It depends on how that goes. She can love to hate you, or she can hate to love you.
You got that right.
You know, it
You gonna
depends
like
on how
me?
who's putting it out there.
She said it depends on what day it is.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, what day? Oh, so Mondays
Yeah.
Mondays is the worst, right? Or is it on Friday?
Sometimes it's Fridays. Fridays, Monday.
Yeah, sometimes we have Monday all day on Friday.
Yeah. And then they happen to deal with payday too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Friday's
really makes-
payroll. Friday's payroll, and she's pretty cranky on Friday.
Yeah. Yeah. Until she gets hers. Then she's like, all right, I'm fine.
Especially if some of the guys ain't got their paperwork turned in. They don't get paid until they get their paperwork turned in, and that sometimes she has to get a little rough with them.
Well, hey. And she's what, a little 5'5", a little 5'4", something like that.
5'5".
Yeah. That dynamite in small package. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be wanting to get my paperwork done and getting paid because I don't want to have to deal with that. No. I've already seen her. No. No.
I was out here the other day, and I'd be gone, and she calls me. Some guy come to pick up that waste oil furnace we had here, the one we had for sale. We sold it. The guy shows up to pick it up, and there's nobody here to run the tractor. And Rachel's out there on the tractor. She hollers at me on the radio. She says, "Hey, Paul," says, "how's the best way to load this thing up?" And I told her where to put the forks under the heater and lift it. She loaded it on the guy's rollback and strapped it down, got him ready to roll out of here. She sent me a text and she said, Yep, your girl did it again. I saved the day. The rest of these guys standing around here with their thumbs up their butt. No Rachel out here doing that deal.
That figures. You know.
Now she's rubbed it in on Garrett. You know, the Sasquatch squad, that Garrett and Denton.
Yeah.
She's rubbed it in pretty hard on those two.
Squad would have been the first ones out there. Hey, we'll get that loaded. Yeah.
I don't even think they'd showed up yet. Yeah, they both been
is that their new official term though? Is that their new official term? We're gonna call them the Sasquatch Squad.
Yeah, I think that's it. You know,
So
Denton, he kind of looks like, Denton, he kind of looks like an orphan Sasquatch that we had to bring in and shave him up and tame him down. And,
Well, yeah, I still got to put out the story about, I have it on video, so that's why I haven't said anything. But that's going to make a good little video when I put it out there of him talking about how he got his hair caught up in a creeper.
Oh, yeah. Well, and there's probably hair still in the creeper wheel out here somewhere.
Probably. That's if he ain't added more to it.
Well, you should have seen him. You should have seen him up here. Wow, let's see. I can't remember what day it was now, but we were moving that Cummins engine back there in the back with the forklift, and the chain slipped and it set back down. Well, when it set down, it laid over on its side.
Ooh.
And he was going to try to hold it, and I had to tell him to get away from it and just let it go. And it knocked him down. He fell backwards in the shop. He looked up at me and he said, I think it's on my foot, Greg. And the housing where your intake goes.
Yeah.
And then you got that high rise on that low flow engine.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't on his foot. His foot was just laying under that high rise light, and it made it look like it was on his foot. He hadn't tried to move his foot yet.
He was like, I don't know if I should or not.
yeah, he couldn't figure out. He's like, what do I do next?
Yeah, it's one of those situations. yeah, do I take a chance of moving it, or do I just sit here and let someone else figure this out for me?
Yeah. I'm like, Denton, does it hurt? He says, no, not really. I said, well, move your foot then. He pulled his foot out from under it and he said, oh, okay. No, he's a
I'm like,
mess.
wow.
I'm telling you. They're good
I
boys,
love it.
both of them.
You have a crew that's a trip. Like I said, I got some more. I just did that little 2-minute segment, and I got some more. I got some of that comedian a bit from them two uh, from when I was on the other side when you started working on taking those brackets off for the exhaust, and them two just cutting up back and forth on each other. And I still got the part where you sit there and go, "Hey, did you make sure you ain't got no hairspray in your hair? I don't need it going poof." Well, I'm saying,
Yeah, yeah,
so,
they're a mess.
there's some of
Garrett,
that coming out. So I'll have
I've
those
known Garrett since he was
too.
born, and Denton, I've known his dad. Denton's dad and I used to truck together back in the day, and I didn't really get to know Denton until he was 11 or 12 years old. But I've known Garrett all his life, and Garrett started hanging around the shop with Dad and I when he was 5 or 6 years old. So he's a fixture here. I mean,
I
he's
got
been
you.
here,
Yeah,
lifelong friend, and right here at the shop, and when he got
that
up
ain't a
big enough
friend.
to work,
That's what you call a lifetime kid. That
yeah.
ain't a friend. He's a kid. He's part of the
Yeah,
family.
yeah, he's just he's not my kid, but he's just like my kid.
Yeah,
He's been here all his life and grew up right here, and I've like all of them, I've given him vehicles and take good care of him like he was my own youngin. I've
yeah.
bailed him out of trouble a time or two, and I've let him get so much trouble. I was like, you're gonna have to tough it out, kiddo. You got to learn.
You're gonna have to learn. Yeah,
You know,
that's the
he's
way
he's
some
done
of it.
really good.
Yeah, but I mean, you got a great crew. You got a great group of people there that work with you. You really do. Your
Get up
daughter,
here,
son,
you get up
you
here
got
sometime with Papa Dave. We call him Papa Smurf. Like I said, he'll be 81. He'll be 81 his birthday. And that man's forgot more about these old wreckers and these old dozers and stuff, the older equipment. He's forgot more about it than most people know.
yeah, or
And
ever learn.
yeah, we'll
Yeah,
do it. We'll do it old timers. We'll call it the old timers corner sometime. We'll get them up here, get around the stove. I got a bunch of those older guys that come around and loaf through the day during lunchtime and hang out with us. And
yeah,
it's
we can do that.
just that their knowledge is just invaluable.
Yeah,
To us younger guys. And then you take the generation coming on now, if you can get some of those interested in some of what these older guys know. I mean, I tell old man Dave, I say, Papa, I'd like to be able to hook you to a computer and just download you.
yeah, yeah. At least
The
download the
information,
knowledge you have. Yeah,
the knowledge. I mean, if you sit there and listen to 25 sentences that they say and pick out the gold nuggets out of it,
mm-hmm.
as they're sitting there telling this big story, you might not think there's anything nothing in it at all that's any good. But you sit there and
Yeah.
listen to it, and you'll pick out some gold nuggets right there that's really valuable.
Well, like Brandon, like I showed you, had that 85, that 84 Kenworth. All right,
Yeah.
Brandon's he got a, I think it's a 48 footer. He got a trailer that he got, and he turned it into a bar trailer. It's basically, it's just got a little bar in it, but it's for when we go to the truck shows. Everybody goes in there and sits, chit chats. It's driver on driver, and they go about and talk about the stories, different things that goes on. Which you probably heard of Long Haul Paul. All
Oh
right?
yeah.
Long Haul Paul, good friends of mine, good friends of his. When Long Haul Paul goes and sings, he goes in there into his trailer and sings straight out acoustic, straight out. And
Right.
Brandon will have everybody shut up, quiet, and listen. Because, the old songs that you hear that come out of Long Haul Paul uh, is everything about trucking. It's about
Oh
what
yeah.
he seen, has gone through, and it's the old school ways that you hear into it. And Some of his music gets down into the dark side, but I mean, but it's the truth. It's what happens. It's what
Right.
has happened in trucking before it got to where it's at now. And we'll sit around and listen to him sing and tell stories, stuff that where he's been to California and up in the Rockies. I mean, he'll sit there and tell stories in the middle of doing singing, and he'll enjoy it. Paul just loves to sing and tell his stories, and when that happened, that's when I come up with the idea of doing the left lane with lefty as part of it. But I try to get everybody I can to come on because I like to do a truckers roundtable.
Oh yeah.
Just like sitting at a truck stop, you're sitting there at a booth. Everybody's sitting there telling your trucker stories from one thing to the other, waiting on that payphone to ring. Well, me and Brandon come up with some ideas. I have gotten some idea. I got a couple connections I need to get with him on a couple old booth telephones, and we're going to mount them up. And he wants to mount one in his trailer or two of them in his trailer, and make it like the old booth where everybody sits there at the table. There's the
Oh
old
yeah.
phone, and then we have the round conversations. In my beginning, I was at Matt's, and I used to do my interviews in his trailer, and it just worked out perfect because you had the sound of the old feeling of all the old tags and the old memorabilia pieces of the old trucks all along the walls, and then setting it up where he had the table with the chairs, and then you sit in there and just actually chit chat, actually what's going on. And then you hear the old stories of them coming out. I mean, it's just solid gold. And yeah, that's the reason why I did this, because I want to be authentic, true. I don't like, there's some cases that you have to do some scripting, but I do not do any scripting. I do everything right then and there. I want you to have the raw me, the raw show, the raw guys. We don't come in and go, oh, hey, we're going to be scripted. This is what you need to say. You need to say, you need to say. No, it's who wants to start.
That takes the reality away from it when you have to script it.
Yeah. And I think that's the reason why I've gotten where I'm at, is because I'm authentic. And I proved myself that this is an authentic deal. We are here for the drivers, and it's about the industry. And I'm not here to make a dime off of these people. I ain't, and I've done told them that. There's in the early cases, it was, oh, you're just out here to make money off of us. You're just trying to make fame. No, I'm not. I can actually show you half of my stuff is monetized, and half of my stuff is copyrighted because I use music that I do have some music that I am legally allowed to use, and I have rights to. And then there's some that, you have to, because you want to try to put that feeling in a video and you want to get that emotion going. You have to use other means because you can't get the other stuff that does not hit on that mark. But, I have 3 or 4 different artists that I can use their music and use it in whatever videos, whatever I want to do, and help them out. It helps me out, and it just gets them back out in the edition. But I don't sit here and make any money. Like I said, I had 2 of my fans, I would say family, they're femmes, 2 of my loyal people that watch this show endlessly, sat there and went and like this year, because I was at the point, because of everything that happened here with the flood, I didn't have the money to put the podcast back up with me paying for doctors and medical treatment. I just didn't have it. So they went ahead and paid for a year of my subscription for my platform that I'm using now. They upgraded my platform, which I didn't ask them to do. They did that. They also paid for me to be on X on the live. That was something I didn't. So I mean, they helped me out, and I give back to the fans what we need to give back, which is, hey, we're here to talk, and I'm not here to take money from nobody. It's like, you can be honest. I haven't asked you for a dime, have I? I've never
No,
asked
you
you.
haven't.
I even got mad at you because you paid for my dinner. Well, I didn't. Dang it.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. We help a lot of people. We do things for our community. There's a lot of people that gets things that they don't know where they came from, but we took care of it for them.
Well, and that's the way it should be, you know.
We watch out for our people. We take care of those that we know that's in need and don't have what they need, and we make a way for it to happen for them. I'm not a rich man by no means, except I'm blessed. God's just blessed me to be able to be who I am, and what I have that's the only way I could have it. Lefty couldn't do it without God. I have to put him first. I have to put him first. He's the very first and foremost in our lives here. Without him, we couldn't get up and go get a drink of water.
Yeah, that's exactly the way it is here. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to do this. Because he could have sat there and said, "No, you're not going to do this," and he could have changed the direction. And like I said, it was funny how this all came about, and the key feature of where it started. Why was it done on April 1st? That's the first day of spring. You know what I mean?
Yep, I do.
When was Jesus born? Jesus wasn't born in the wintertime. He was born in spring.
He was.
It was in between March and April. So it was like when it all come about, didn't pay attention to it. So that's why I said it was a calling. It was a blessing, all done. I'm like, why? Why all of a sudden did
Well, and look at the lives. Look at the lives that you. Look at the lives that you touch. The people you get in contact with. Just like me and you meeting. That wasn't a coincidence.
No.
It's all. I call it a divine appointment. It's what I tell people. It's that's just the way it is. It's meant to be. Everything happens for a reason.
It does.
Whether it's good or bad, it's. And Paul wrote in his writings. He said, "Think it not strange that these fiery trials come upon you." We all have trials. You're going through trials physically right now with your health.
Yeah.
We go through trials here. My brother just had quadruple open heart surgery. We're praying for him, but he does well. He's back out of the hospital and home now. Still ornery as ever, which I thank God for that.
You got to think. Yeah, you got to thank him for that.
One of the drivers just lost his dad day before yesterday. James's dad passed away. We all go through them, but without our trials, where would our faith be?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Where would it be?
That's it. It's just like getting back to our trucks. We climb in that truck. I go out here and get in this wrecker truck. I got to have enough faith in that truck that it's going to go get the job done that we've got to go do with it. If I didn't have the faith that truck would do the job, but I needed it to do, why even own it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like this here, there for a while, I was about to give it up. I mean, I was to the point because of everything that was going on. I was like, I feel weak. I don't have enough time trying to deal with the doctors and getting back and forth and everything. It was just like, do I really want to do it? Do I really want to get back into it? Because of everything that was going on. And I was out of it for 3 months. 3 months without doing a podcast. But then when I put the videos up, I would put up a video here and there, and they started taking off, and they started going off again. I'm like, all right, so maybe there might be something that I can go back into. And then I had the other two things that popped up, and I'm like, all right, I got it. Thank you, Lord. I understand. I see the picture.
That's it.
Get back to this again. And then I had you wanted me to come up. You wanted to do the build, which we're going to do a little series out of it. Then I had Brandon call me. Got something in the works. I mean, and this might even tie in, you know what I mean? It just, not only is it opening doors a little bit more for me, but it's also opening doors for you. It's also
Yeah.
opening up doors for Brandon. And if we all come together and make a full circle here, let's say I get a hold of him, we go over there.
Right.
That would be, I'm telling you, that may end up being something there that's spectacular. Because it may end up, who knows what you may end up out of it. I know what
Hey,
I
you
might
never
end up.
know.
You never know.
That's true.
Yeah.
That ghost don't want to sit here. I was going to let him sit and visit with everybody, but he wants back down.
I heard that. Well, I know we've been
Yeah,
on here for 2.5 hours.
we have. It's been amazing.
Yes. And I do more than this. I usually have other drivers, but I know I got one. Yeah, and then we got trouble over there.
Yeah,
But she don't want to show everybody. She won't show everybody her face. It's like, look for me at a distance.
Hey, hey, that's my hemorrhoid. You know, I got a genius and a hemorrhoid, right?
Yeah.
You know what that makes, don't you?
What?
A smart ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I have to put up with?
Yeah, listen at her over here.
Yeah. I know. And then she's like, do you see what I got to put up with?
Yeah.
You see what I put up with, right?
Yeah.
I have to deal with him every day.
I see it working both ways.
He's worse than I am.
Hey, but the thing is, there's only one difference between you and him. Want to know what the difference is? He's the man that signs the paycheck.
No, he's not.
Listen at her. Listen at her brag over here.
Look at her. She's like, no, that's me signing. Yeah, but how's that money get in there? That's because what he does,
We
right?
all work to put it in there.
You see, there's the right answer. There's the right
That's
answer.
what
We
There you
all
go.
work. It's not just me. See, that's the
That's
key
it.
answer. You get most people to answer that question and be like, no, it's all because of me. It's what I do to put that money in there. No,
No,
but that was the key
us.
answer.
All
We all. Yeah.
Hey, I tell anybody and everybody, without that girl right there, this place would be out of business. She takes care of this place.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm very proud of her. She's done a wonderful job. Hey, listen, she's here when nobody else is here, Lefty. Just taking care of business. I mean, she'll call me up sometimes. Hey, we need to do this or that. What do you want me to do? And I'm like, well, you know much about it as I do. Make a decision and let it happen.
Yeah.
And that's how a business is supposed to work.
Yeah. And run the chain of command, ask. All right. Well, you got as much knowledge as I do. Run the skill. Run what your thoughts would be.
I mean,
she have another opinion, even though it might be a hemorrhoid, but at least you know
yeah,
you
there
take
you
the
go.
opinion of the hemorrhoid. You
All right,
go.
you call him that rollback out there and go.
I do take your advice and I do listen to what you say, but you're still the deciding factor of the thought. But
Right.
but it's always it's hard to get people to give if let me put it right. It is hard to get people to give you the right opinion because too many of them want to give it their opinion and have it favored into their direction. Where your daughter don't favor it in her direction. She's favoring it in this is what the company's direction is. This is what we need to work on, Dad. It's not, hey, Dad, I think it needs to go this way, and that's the way I want it to go. This is the way it needs to go, and it's your decision, but I'm giving you an idea of how we need to take it that way.
Yeah. Any executive decisions that's made, me and her discuss it right here in the office before we ever bring it up to anybody else and make sure it's feasible for the company.
Yeah.
I mean, we discussed that 12-ton out there for a pretty good while before we pulled the trigger on it.
The only thing I know the one thing you guys do not discuss I know the one thing you guys don't discuss.
Lay it on me.
That's her chicken lights because she's ordering them anyways.
No, listen. There's a Snap-on toolbox out in the shop that probably cost. I don't know what the toolbox cost, but it's chicken lights from top to bottom.
Yeah,
and you know, nobody's allowed to touch it. It's you touch Rachel's chicken light box and you might get hurt.
that's what I'm saying. I said it's the one thing you don't have no decision on because she's going to get the lights. She's got them, or she's going to order more and be like, Dad, don't worry about it. I already ordered more lights. What? Yeah, I got more of them. Don't worry about it.
Hey,
don't act like we're running out. We got plenty, and if that big box is out, then this other box over here, and then if this wall is missing, then we have a problem.
Yeah, well, the red, white, and blue truck's got over 200 now, and she's wanting to put more on it, Lefty.
You wait till I get my Peterbilt done. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's what she's stocking up on. That's for that Peterbilt.
Oh, I know.
It's going to look like a UFO flying around here.
Archie's got over 100 lights underneath him that shines down on the pavement when we go to the shows.
He's not done yet.
And he's not done yet, she said.
No, yeah, I can see it.
You know, we go driving around the parking
There's
lot.
some places that have some shadows. We need to fill those up, make them lights, no shadows. Yeah.
Yeah, we go driving around the parking lot and they're like, hey, the UFO just landed.
Yeah. Better watch it. Right now they're having an issue with drones. As long as you ain't flying too high, you'll be all right.
Ain't no doubt. Oh. Yeah, she's in that over the lights now.
You'll see me for a country mile, honey.
Now you go turn the light switch on in the house over and chicken lights comes on in the windowsills.
Yeah, and then you get the power bill come in going, my God, what? Oh, never mind. Never mind. I know where that bill.
You open the front door and it hits the Jake brake switch.
And lights come on and it like sparks out of the top of the mufflers. Light flicker.
Yeah, there you go.
Honey, chicken lights and chrome.
See?
Yeah,
See?
her theme song is Chicken Lights and Chrome.
That's right. Oh, what's his name did that song? Yeah, Chicken
Tony
Lights
Justin.
on the way home. Yeah,
Tony's a good one.
yeah. Tony's got Chicken Lights and Crow. He's got it, but there's another guy. I'm trying to think of his name. I can't even think of it. I have it downloaded. Yeah, it's a two-step Mac with a bunk in the back. Yep.
Right.
And you can hear the kitty cat roar. Yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Old
Stuff
Tony's
like
got
that.
some good music up there.
Tony does. And then he just signed on his brother onto Fifth Wheel Records. Aaron.
Right. You know, I don't know.
Aaron Justice.
Yeah.
Aaron Justice does nothing but gospel.
Right.
And I love his music. And I told him, I said, hey, keep putting it on the page. Love it. Put it in the groups. Put it out there.
I need to get Tony to get me a couple of his CDs.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I know you've heard of them before.
You can put them on. You can download them to your phone, then just plug it into your truck.
That's what I'll do. You know, 49 Winchester. Have you heard the group 40? You need to look them up. They grew. Hey, him and his dad helped me build my shop.
Really?
While they were doing tours and opening up for the bigger shows. I think he opened for Tony a time or two. But they're on the Grand Ole Opry now. They've done really great, and they live 3 miles from us here.
Wow, I think they if I remember correctly, they had a thing over at the Paramount over in Bristol. They had a while back where they were there for the whole weekend. They did 2 shows, and that was actually where they were. I didn't go because I know I heard it on the radio that they were there.
Right.
But you know, when you work and you work so much, then you go home and then you're trying to do stuff for the podcast and trying to get all the stuff edited and done right. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Lucy, you ready to go home?
What do you want to leave for?
I gotta go put clothes in the dryer.
Listen, she's wanting to leave us now, Lefty.
I know. And did you hear that Southern twang come out? I gotta go put some toes in the tie. I gotta put them in the dryer.
I gotta go put them in the jar.
Look at that mop on her head.
Hey, it's Sunday. I don't care.
That's right. It's Bun Sunday.
It's Sunday. It don't matter what I look like. I ain't out to impress nobody anyways. What you see is what you get.
That's right. Now, can you all imagine a small series being made this way, having cameras done? I can just, oh yeah, just be prepared. We're going to be in for a wild ride with that one right there. That one.
You got that right.
Hey, if it hits my brain, it's coming out my mouth.
Hey, listen, her head usually outruns her body by about 2 miles.
Oh,
I told somebody the other day, she's always moving so fast. They said, well, what about her? I said, yeah, her head's up yonder. My neighbors are looking around. So like, well, where's the rest of me at?
Jeez. Yeah.
I might be doing 500 things at one time, but I at least get it done.
You would think she had some of them toothpicks we used to use back in the day, and these old drivers will know what I'm talking about.
Are you sure she ain't got some of those hidden in there?
Yeah, I don't know. She's got. You might have
go to work. I better want this toothpick, and then I'll be ready for Dad. And Dad will be like, "Man, did you ever slow down?"
That, or she may have a black molly or a speckled bird laid up over here somewhere. You can't tell about her.
Now, today I ain't gonna say I hadn't had, but now that was different. That was different now.
Wow.
Oh. We used to put them black mollies back together, Lefty, and I'd walk by the bar up there at White's old truck stop at Racine, Virginia.
Yep.
We'd take that capsule apart and pour it in your coffee, and then sit there and work, put that capsule back together. And when you walk by the bar, just kind of act like you tripped and roll it down the bar. Cause the dangest driver fight you ever saw in your life trying to get a hold of that little black pill.
Wow. I know I heard the stories from my uncle, and he still to this day, and I know, to this day, that man had the kick for the toothpicks because he still chews on a toothpick.
I do too. I got one in my hat out there in the truck now.
He's got one that sits in his mouth, and it sits there all day long. And I sitting there going, I can tell you're an old school trucker. And he kind of looked at me and smirked like, what did you mean by that? But I don't know. As long as I ain't got no missing toothpicks, we'll be all right.
When they were done right, when you put it in over here and roll it over there about twice, you better be putting it back in your hat or hang it over up in the CB mic because you're ready to go for a little while.
Yeah. As some of the guys would say, put the first half in your mouth, you're good to California. When you leave, you flip it around and put it the other way. You could go from East Coast to West Coast, back to East Coast in about 28 hours because you wouldn't stop.
I used to run 2 trips a week, Siler City, North Carolina to Yuma, Colorado for the bull rack.
Mm-hmm.
I'd turn 2 of them a week by myself.
Ooh. Yeah, that's some distance.
Yeah, that's trucking.
You can't have none of these.
Yeah. I couldn't do that now.
No.
Back in, I kept my second driver in my shirt pocket.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. You do that now, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, you can't get away with this day and time like we did back then.
Yeah. Then it depends on if your back can handle the ride.
That's right. That's right. Hey, at that time I was riding the FLD 120 Freightliner, flat top.
Yeah.
Which wasn't a real bad ride, but then back in the 80s, we used to load over here to Abingdon and run to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I had a R model malt with a 42-foot steel possum belly trailer. Now that was
R models, man. For your height and my height, yeah. And a lot of people going, oh, I like an R model. I said, yeah, you know what the original names were for them? And they're like, what? And I said, shin scrapers. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah, it'd take the hide right off of your knee or take it right off of your shin.
Absolutely.
And don't wear shorts. Do not wear shorts because that damn AC box will definitely get you.
Every time.
Yeah, every single time. And with people being our height, it was, why are you hunching over? I guess because you ain't never rode in our model Mac neither.
Yeah, you ever bumped that head on that one?
You hit that damn head on the ceiling, or you take your knees off on the damn right there on the dash. It'll skin them suckers.
Bump your head getting out.
Yep.
I've bumped my head 2 or 3 times in my head.
You used to love to sit in them because you sit between the doors, your leg leg on the AC, and that right there, your leg could go to sleep, but it'd be perfect sitting there. You sit there and lay on the throttle and ride, and then your other leg up against the door. And if you started getting sleepy, you just kick that floor vent open. That sucker will cool you off real quick. Flip her back.
Yeah. Truck right on up the road. I used to load an Abbey and about 7 o'clock on a Saturday evening, and right about daylight on Sunday morning, bump the chute up there in Lancaster County, PA, the old stockyard.
Go tell Paul bye. Go tell Paul bye.
Hey, check Lucy out over here.
Look at it. She's like, what are you talking about? Ain't it another day? You ain't leaving, are you? Yeah. Look at her.
She's ready to go home.
Yeah.
You ready to go home? Huh? Go home. You there? Come on. Go on by. Go on by.
Bye, Lucy.
Come on.
Like, no. She goes, it's a regular day for me. She goes, ain't this work time?
Look here, I got you a little close. Look here, I got you close up.
Yep, there it is.
Chicken hair.
Ain't nothing wrong with her hair.
I don't care.
Oh, she's a mess. I'm gonna grab a cup of coffee.
Come on.
Yeah. Hey, you go ahead, bro. Hey, before you do that, real quick, Greg.
Yeah.
Before you do that, go ahead and plug Jacob's Garage, and I'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and end this out. But I want you to stay in the background. Don't leave the podcast. But
okay,
go ahead and give your spill, and I'll go ahead and end this real quick.
Hey guys, Jacob's Garage and 24-hour record service in Castlewood, Virginia. We're about to open up a new location at the 1958 split over here at Hansonville, right behind the Valero station. If you're in Southwest Virginia and need a tow or 24-hour roadside assistance, give us a shout. We got 2 heavies. We got a 25-ton. We got a 40-ton. We got a medium-duty 12-ton wrecker. We got 2 medium-duty rollbacks. We can haul your company pickup trucks, your small vans, whatever. Tire changes, oil changes, wheel bearings, any kind of that kind of work. We do it in-house here at the shop. We build a few trucks, stretch a few trucks, do some framework, build a few truck beds. Just, a variety of things here at the garage. Got a great crew. We're family business. We treat everybody the way we want to be treated. And like I told Lefty, hey, we doze but never close. Come by and see us. Give us a shout. Look us up on Facebook. Like our page. Send us a friend's request. Jacob's Garage and 24-hour record service. Come by and get a keychain. You can get with Rachel there. There's the number, 276-202-9151. Look us up on Google Maps. Get her phone numbers. Give Rachel a call. Order you a new hat. Order you a new keychain. Order you a hoodie. We got hoodies there. I'm out right now, but we'll have some before too long. Hey, stop by and hang out. We'll have a cup of coffee or go up to the Mexican restaurant and grab a bite to eat.
That's right.
We'll treat you like family around here. Hope everybody has a happy New Year.
Yep. And everybody have a happy New Year. And I'm just saying, we are bound to ride. Just saying. But everybody, it was good seeing y'all again. glad for y'all stopping in, leaving the comments, and everything, and getting to know the backside of Jacob's garage, and getting to see the other side of what that life is about. And we'll be seeing more. We'll be doing more on the truck build and doing some other things too. And we got some things coming up for the first of the year on his new location. So we'll be doing some of that too. And just want to let y'all know we love you. We appreciate you. God bless every one of y'all, and make sure y'all are staying safe out there. I know the weather's getting rough. I know there's some, I've been seeing a lot of y'all been running into the snow. I know they got some tornadoes down south going on. So just keep the sunny side up and the rubber side down. And we'll be hollering to y'all later. All right. Love y'all.